Hello and welcome to episode 97 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast. My name's Davey and joined with me, as always, is the fine wine himself, Mr. Philip Hoy.
Boom!
I want to hear you say wayo, wayo, say a boom, boom, boom. And the boy wonder himself, Spencer Davis.
Yes, boys. It feels like it's been ages, but I don't think it has.
I think it's just we're slightly later recording this episode. So normally, listeners, we record on... Well, we're pretty flexible with it these days. It used to be a strict Friday, but now it runs the gambit anywhere from a Thursday through to a Monday, and today is a Monday. So last time we recorded was a Thursday, so it's been like 2.5 weeks since we last got together, rather than it just being the straight up 2. But for you listeners, it will feel exactly the same, albeit this episode may go up a day late, and apologies for that, and we will get into why that is, I'm sure. The first thing we do, though, before we go through any of that, is the run of the show. And we have got a juicer of a show in store for you today. People want juice? I'm here giving you the goddamn fruit tree, baby. We got so much to go through today. We're going to go through the normal run of the show with a hypothetical, then go into what we've been playing, take it on over to the quick news, where we got 2 apiece to go through as per. And then we're going to end it with our topic of the show, which today is all about Gamescom Opening Night Live. We've got a long way to go till then. But first, lads, Spence, I think you've got the hypothetical today.
I do, my friend. I do. And I thought about this. I was randomly in bed thinking, popped into my mind, and then I forgot about it. I completely forgot. And then 3 days later, I was racking my brain like, oh, it was such a good question. What the fuck was it? Came back to me. So...
Brilliant.
Are you boys ready for this question?
No, definitely not. Coming from you, it's going to be absolute filth.
You don't know that, mate. You don't know that for sure.
I think we almost got away with it until 3 days later came along.
Almost, my friend. Almost. So, here it goes. You have 2 choices. You have to do one of them. It's a would you rather, but someone's got a gun to your head. Your first choice. Perform the first 90% of a blowjob. Your second choice, perform the last 10.
Ooh.
And now you might think, oh, that's a lot less. But you're finishing it.
You're getting the surprise.
You know what happens there.
Yeah.
So who wants to take it first? Firstly, have you got any experience with giving blowjobs?
No. This was actually going to be... I got a few kind of ground rule questions if you don't mind me asking them.
Sure.
Obviously, me and Phil, as we both said, we've never given head before. Does that
Not
mean...
to each other.
Well, certainly not. Not to anyone, but especially not to each other. If I was to give head, it would be to one of you boys. But as that hasn't happened yet, it is what it is.
It's weird.
Now, because of that, my skill... with a penis in my mouth probably isn't going to be very good, right? Like, I'm not being blessed with the Marilyn Manson lack of ribs or whatever to be able to nosh myself off to get my head game up here. So I imagine mine's going to be terrible, which means it would go on forever. Like, some people I've been with, BJ can be fast. It could be over. Like, they can really work it. It's done. It's magic. Other people, it becomes a little bit of a labor. And you think, do you know what, maybe... just sit there with your mouth open, love, and I'll just jack off into it, right? Like one of those kind of things. It's going on too long. I'm getting a bit bored.
Poor women. Those poor women. If you're looking at them thinking that, wow, I feel so sorry for them.
Get your head game up. But this is why I'm saying, right? Like, are we at the point where, is there a time that this is going to take? Like, we can say that 90% is going to be, say, 9 minutes, and that 10% is a minute? Or is it just like, it depends on your own skill game? Because that 10% might still go on for donks.
That's true. Very true.
It's true, but... See, I was thinking it was to do with your skill level. Because even then, the last 10%, you just got to go fast. You could just give it a hock to it and you just use your hand quick. And just, But...
Is that how they work?
Is that it can.
Going fast? Does that work for you?
For the last 10%, I would say yes.
Okay.
For the first 90, you might be like, oh, So you kind of want to be teased. So I don't know, I think if it's safe to say it's a 20-minute BJ
20 minutes.
20
Yeah,
minutes.
so the last
Who's got
10%?
20 minutes?
The last 10% is 2 minutes. The 90% is 18.
18 minutes. Jesus Christ, that would get your jaw going, wouldn't it? You'd be
Yeah.
fucking... That's a jaw workout, that is.
You finish like, ah!
You're like, Jesus Christ.
It's like I just
You
had a
come out of it.
jawbreaker.
You come out of it with a chin like Duke Nukem. All right, okay. And then the second question I had to just tell you the groundwork. In terms of that last 10%, do you have to take that in the mouth or can you just like split it on your face or whatever?
Face.
Yeah, I'd rather that. than
Sure,
the
surely put it on your chest. Face.
Oh, yeah, chest,
Oh,
chest.
Chest.
What,
Put it
all in
on
your
face.
chest here
Yeah.
and everything?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
I haven't got much chest hair. It's fine.
I'd
Walk right
be
off.
bloody buggered. I'd be wiping that off for days. I think it's whatever you would expect a girl to do for you.
Chest.
I'm going to say chest now, but
Ooh.
yes, chest.
Or what
100%
you would
chest.
hope a girl to do for you. They're two different answers.
All right, okay.
What do you get and what do you hope for are two very different things, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But it depends, because you might, at this point, you might be like, oh, I'm going to rock his world. You know?
Could it be?
Jeez.
And I suppose it could be one of those things, especially as we're not in the know with this. Like we're on the receiving end rather than the giving end for you know a blowjob. Maybe the person that we're noshing isn't the kind to be like, I'm gonna jizz. So you don't know. So then you're gonna, you know, like you're gonna take it wherever it is at that point, you know, and you might get the final splurt on your chest, but you still kind of like splattered yourself down, you know, like a PVA glue's just like fucking you splattered all over the place. All right, that's my ground rule questions out of the way. Thank you.
That's
for
really funny because I did that yesterday. Of just surprise.
Poor missus. Your poor missus. So, all right, those questions out of the way. I think for me, bearing in mind it's going to be an 18 minutes of dick in mouth contact, I think I'd rather just take the 2 minutes. You know,
I think
over with.
It's 20 minutes, but if you put the graft in, you might be able to speed
get it down.
But it's a minimum 20 minutes, or like a maximum 20 minutes.
I think about like the first time I ever had sex, I sucked. Like I can't imagine how bad I was. Like if I was to swap places with like my younger body and know what I know now about like the human anatomy, I'd rock that girl's world. Whereas back then, I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. And I imagine with somebody else's dick, it would be the same thing. So I think if anything, I'd probably elongate the time rather than reduce it. So for that, I'm going to go for the final 10%. I'm going to just take the shot, get it over with. Yeah, and just get it, and hope they've eaten pineapple. That's all I'm going to hope. I might ask in the middle, but that might put them off. Have you eaten pineapple? And they'll be like, yes, love. Be like, all right, mate.
Love.
Look,
They've got
Love.
to call you
They call
love.
you love. This is your boyfriend, you're not.
We haven't even established who you're sucking off yet. Like, who is it?
Oh, actually,
Do we get to
this
choose?
This would change him. Henry Cavill is who you're noshing.
I'd be happy for it then, wouldn't you?
In
Yeah,
it.
do
So
whatever.
now I'm thinking, you were saying, oh yeah, on my chest. Now you're like,
You'd want
This
to
just
impress him.
feels.
You would.
This
Do
just
it in
feels
me,
like.
Cavill.
This just feels like a Spencer wet dream. Surely he's just
does.
playing this out live on the podcast. That's what's
Yeah,
happening here.
yeah,
Like all his feet things he's had before. It's just coming back around, isn't it? You had one of those dreams where you're next to your missus and you thought, oh, that was homoerotic.
that was great.
What does that mean? And then you think, I'll ask the lads, is this normal?
Wow.
I reckon that's what's happened there. But yeah, I'm going the final 2 minutes, mate. I'm just gonna pump it down. Regardless to who it is, 18 minutes is a long time to be noshing on something. And my skill isn't going to reduce that time. So I'd rather just get it over and done with. If someone's got a gun to my head, I'll nosh. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not dying. I'd rather suck a dick than die. So
Yeah. True.
This isn't Saw.
you said
Nah, it
gun
is.
to your
Dun,
head.
dun, dun,
There's a
dun,
gun to
dun,
your
dun.
head. You better make him come. What about you, Phil, mate? What are you going for? Do you have any questions as well?
Yeah, I've got a couple of questions, and one was who is it? So, am I sucking Henry Cavill the same as Davey?
I think it's just whoever your man crush is.
My man crush. Oh, that might be another 20 minutes trying to figure that one out.
No one comes to mind of you just think, oh, he's fucking. I'd let him.
You,
have me.
Spence. You can be my man crush. Let's make this weird.
You know,
As
it
if
takes
it
me a
wasn't
long
already.
time to finish. You don't want that mind.
Hey, you've never had me.
Shit. Yo.
And I'm getting married on Friday, so you've got a couple of days.
I was going to say to the wrong person, apparently, mate. Get me
Well,
up there.
we'll see how good it is.
Hell yeah.
But Spence, I've got some terrible news for you. I hate things in my mouth. I hate things being put in my mouth. Because I was recently at the dentist and I freaked out. I had my teeth cleaned for the wedding. And you know where they put the little sucker in?
Oh, I hate that thing.
Oh my God.
Like,
I disliked it. I started panicking. It felt like I was slowly drowning in that moment and I just wanted to get out. And I just had to say, stop. I just can't take this for 5 minutes, and then calm down, and then obviously continued. But if I'm in this position with a gun to my head, I can't say stop, can I? If Henry Cavill or yourself is at that point with a in my mouth. So, this isn't a good one for me, Spence, I have to admit. I'm not enjoying this hypothetical today.
we're not supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah, if you're enjoying it, then you're kind of in the well.
If you're enjoying it, yeah.
That's the
I'll
best.
do the
If you're
full-
enjoying it, fine. You know,
Hey,
no judgment.
Nothing wrong with that. You know, we're an open podcast.
Exactly. The not to derail it too much. The teeth cleaning thing is that the sucking thing sucks. The thing I hate is that high pitched like drill thing where they're like it's like scratching your teeth and your ears like they don't pop, but they like make this weird thing where it's like your mind's kind of like shut it down, and it's like and that entire time just like oh fuck this is horrible like that entire time, and I'm thinking why didn't I floss? Why don't I floss? She tells me every time to floss. I never do.
You still don't though, do you?
No. I forget about it. It's 6 months between meetings. It's long enough to forget. It's like a woman's pregnancy, isn't it? They say it's horrific straight after. A year later, they're ready to go again for another one. Yeah, they just forget about it. So I think that's the same with the hygienist. Anyway, sorry. Back to your
Back to this horror story.
Yeah.
Yeah, with someone with a gun to my head and Spencer's dick in my mouth. Going, bloody hell. Do they give you something to squeeze as well at the dentist? I think that's normal, isn't it? When you have to go through pain, they give you like a stress ball. That's happened to my dentist. It has. They ask you if you want the ball to squeeze. So if I'm squeezing your balls, Spence, at the same time you've got your dick in my mouth going, maybe I could last the 18 minutes because I definitely don't want your jizz in my mouth. So I'm going to go for the 18 minutes. I think I can get it done.
Say less. All right.
Yeah.
So this is what we'll do. We're all sharing a room the night before the wedding.
We are.
So you've got me for the first 90, and Davey, you can do the last 10.
You ain't Henry Cavill, my friend. Sorry, mate. Only Henry
Mate,
Cavill's penis allowed in this.
After
now.
a few drinks, I know what you're like. You'll be like, "Oh, Spence, it's not gay.
It's not gay, mate.
Come
if we
on.
do it to each other.
Come on, it's fine. We're just mates."
No,
I hear it
we
enough
won't tell
now.
anyone. We won't tell anyone about it. It's fine. Phil won't talk about it again. He's getting married tomorrow.
And guys, I've got to tell you something. You guys are sharing a bed as well, so we might make this a lot easier than you think.
Bloody hell! Here we go.
Check our Twitter for the video.
It'd be like that prison video.
Well, I'm doing shorts at the moment, so as long as you can get it done in 60 seconds,
Oh, no
brilliant.
chance.
Bang it up on a YouTube short.
Jesus
No chance.
Christ!
That'll
I'll
get the
edge
subs.
from now until then for you, mate.
Dear God. So, what about yourself then, Spence? Where are you going with this? You've had both sides of the coin here with me and Phil.
Yeah. It is weird you've actually gone different. I feel like everyone would always go for the last 10%, but then it depends just how grossed out you are by cum. I think, I couldn't do the 18 minutes because I gag when I brush my teeth. I literally couldn't. I would end up spewing on someone's penis. So, I think I have to do the last 10, but it just wouldn't be very good. But I know that, so I think I would actually be like, oh yeah, cover me. I think I'd try and make it worth for them, just to make up for it. You know that thing,
Cover
you know
me.
what you do? when they're on their knees and you can't finish because
Yeah.
their head game's whacked. So you're just like, oh, beg for it. And then you just crack on.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
do. I'd just sit there and beg. That's what I'd do, mate.
Would you be like giving it the?
Now, Spencer would look up and try and look him in the eyes and give him those like kinky eyes.
Oh,
but then
those
he'd
sexy
quickly
eyes.
realise the guy that he's sucking off is closing his eyes thinking of something else.
Yeah,
He's like,
of course he is,
ah.
Softest
Think-
penis in the world.
Think of other sexy thoughts.
Oh dear.
Feels my mustache on his freaking on his shaft. I think I'm going last 10 just because I know how long it takes for me to finish, and I don't think I'll be very good. So I'll happily have that lot. I won't happily. I'll reluctantly perform that last 10
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
happily accept the semen.
Okay.
That's what I'll do.
Well, that is definitely the gayest start to an episode we've ever had, and it's taken 97 episodes to get there. So, you know. But listeners, I don't really want to know what you do, but if you
What you
feel
do.
like sharing,
Wow.
if you feel like sharing, you can hit us up on the Twitter at PS We Trust, or hit any of us up on our individual Twitters, which are all linked in the description of the show, no matter where you listen to. But guys, let's move it on to what we've been playing.
This time on NPS We Trust, what have the boys been playing?
So guys, it's been 2 weeks since the last podcast episode, and I'm desperate to know what you've been up to in that time. Now, Spence, I'm going to come across to you. What have you been playing?
Okay, so I've got a bit of a issue, right? So since last episode, where I got, I think 2 platinums,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want to keep up this platinum grind. And I remembered I was only like 3 or 4 trophies away from the platinum on Dark Souls Remastered. So I was like, that's what I'll do. I'll go and get that finished. So I booted up Dark Souls. I got all the sorceries. No, I got all the miracles, all the pyromancies. And it turns out, without starting again, it's impossible for me to get all the sorceries. Because due to the order I've played the game, or how far I got, I can't get Siegmeyer of Katarina to show up in Firelink where he gives you a sorcery, and it's the only way to get it.
Oh.
So you're supposed to go and rescue him at Sen's Fortress. Then he goes to Firelink, and then you can meet him in Anolondo. But I've already beaten Anolondo, and then I went back to save him at Sen's, so it skipped Firelink. So now I have to beat the game again. So I just closed it. I was like, oh, fuck this. That's frustrating as hell. And I booted up a different game called Synapse, which, if anyone remembers, it's a VR game. PSVR 2 finally went back to it. And it's basically a roguelike, but the environments, the missions are the same every time, but you get new abilities that persist through your runs. You get upgrades during your runs that don't persist. And it's just a really sick game. You've got a gun in your right hand. It could be a shotgun, grenade launcher, pistol, submachine gun. And you've got telekinetic magneto powers in your left hand, which feel fucking mint. And so I thought, that's not supposed to be a long platinum. How many trophies I got left? I had 3. So I booted it up. Took me about 2 hours, and I got the platinum for Synapse.
Ooh, that's a
Whee.
platinum. Well done, my friend. Well done.
Congrats.
Is that your first PSVR 2 platinum?
I believe it is. Because I thought that when I first got it. I think it is.
Yeah, because I was having to think then when you were talking about it, thinking, I don't know if I actually got a platinum on PSVR 2 yet. I'm not sure. I know I'm really close on on a couple of games, but I just haven't gone over the line and finished them, and done that last kind of little bit.
You technically have, I think. You've done the platinum on Humanity, right? And that's
Oh yes,
you
and
just
I didn't play
do
that
it in
VR.
PSVR 2, but you could
Yeah,
have.
and I did play a couple of levels in VR, but I didn't do the entire thing in it. But yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I guess that would kind of count, I suppose. But no, awesome, well done going back to Synapse. What kind of made you put back on the helmet again? Because I'm still quite there where I haven't put it back on, even though I'm now racking up so many titles that I'm desperate to go into, especially now that we're getting so many included with PS Premium that I've just got access to now. What kind of tipped you over the line to be able to don it again?
What it wasn't even Synapse. I've just been getting into golf recently. I really like golf, and I thought I'm gonna go back and play Walkabout Mini Golf and actually try for those trophies, which are so hard. Like, I don't think we ever even got close. So I thought I'll go back, try it. But then as I was doing that, I thought, let me have a look at Synapse because I know I'm close. And when I saw that, I thought, fuck it, may as well. Just go for it, get it done. And then it's still installed as well because it's such a phenomenal game. It's one of the best PSVR 2 games I've played so far.
I've got to get off my ass. I've just got to get off my ass and just play more PSVR 2. What I'm hoping is that before the end of the year, I can do a big cleanup. So like the next couple of games that I'm really, really super keen on is Skydance's Behemoth and Wanderer. So like those two games, I'm going to dust off the VR for anyway. And at that point then, I don't think I've even finished Horizon on it. So I need to go back and finish it. I think I got about 3/4 through, and then I just got so obsessed with Kayak VR, I just didn't ever stop. So I think I need to go back and kind of finish that game off. So yeah, I've got a huge, huge hankering for it. In terms of Dark Souls Remastered, dude, I think the issue is, right, when I was going for the platinum on that game, I remember I gave you all the weapons.
Yeah.
And that's a fucker of a trophy to go for. But I was following a platinum guide, which then led me through all the sorceries and everything while I was doing my weapons. So that's why I probably wouldn't have even thought about advising you at the time to do different activities to be able to get sorceries. Now, am I able to drop you sorceries or not?
I don't think so. I'll quickly Google it, but I'm pretty certain you can't.
That's a damn shame. Well, if I can't, I am more than happy to jump into some Dark Souls Remastered with you if you want to run any co-op on it. My character's fucking busted. We could just smash it.
Yeah, you can't drop them, but I have to do an NG plus run now, so I would very much appreciate it. Just all I need to do is get that. Once I think it's literally the last sorcery I need.
Okay.
And then it's discover Dark Wraith Covenant, beat the game bad ending. That is it.
Oh, well, nice. All right, yeah, I'll help you with it. Well, I'll quite gladly jump in. I've been hankering, especially after Elden Ring, to go back and play some more Souls. I know that you've been doing Dark Souls 2 on your own, like with a mate, and so I'd quite happily jump back into Dark Souls Remastered any goddamn day of the week. Fucking perfect game.
Beauty.
Quick question, Spence, about Synapse. Was there anything interesting VR-specific trophies? Does VR add anything to the trophy experience?
It's a VR-only game, so it's kind of, what am I thinking? All it is in the game, there are challenges for you to you typically just do them without even knowing about them. But then you get awards for beating them. You get to suck up the kind of points you get out of them and use those points to upgrade your character for your runs. It's a bit hard to say. It wasn't a very hard platinum at all. You kind of just have to play the game like twice.
Is it like one of those lists where it's like, kill 50 people with this gun, kill 20 people with that, like, kill them with this ability? Like, one of the only VR things I can think of for a trophy list that I've encountered so far has been, like, on Kayak VR, you could dunk your head underwater. Like, you can lean over the side of the kayak and dunk your head under, and there's a trophy for doing that for a minute. So, like, if you want to look around the tropical waters or whatever and see a turtle swim by, you just dunk your head under and start looking around. You're like, oh, this is super cool. And then you get a trophy out of it. And so that would be the kind of thing that I suppose you mean, Phil. But
yeah, that's kind of where I was going. So I was looking for trophies that maybe you wouldn't be able to do with like a traditional PS5 setup, something that you would need the VR headset to achieve. And Davey very much hits the nail on the head with the one from Kayak VR. But was there anything in Synapse that sort of springs to mind?
I really don't think so. Sure, it's a VR game and stuff, but all the challenges are just kill. Yeah, I think the last trophies I had left to do were kill 10,000 enemies and spend 5,000 defiance, which is your currency, is defiance. And those were literally the last two I had to do. It was just kill and spend. And there weren't any difficult trophies I had to look up. Everything just happened naturally in my run. It's just play it. There's nothing you need to keep your eye out for, nothing you need VR specifically to do. Just play the game.
Nice. Well, that's always quite a nice thing, especially when you kind of accidentally stumble on a platinum. I think that's always quite a nice thing to do. When you look at your trophy list, you think, fucking hell, nearly done. Like, it's always quite a nice little surprise. Spence, I know you've got two other games that you want to talk through, but I know Phil's gone and played them as well. So we'll park those for the moment. We'll come back to you in a tick. I got two things I want to talk to you about, boys. The first is I want to just cap up on a game that I mentioned on the last episode, which is Pacific Drive. So I've now played it for 42 hours.
Bloody hell.
And I've earned myself the Platinum Trophy. Ooh, that's a Platinum.
There it is.
What a goddamn good game that is. It's so good. As I said before, we're not going to spend too long on this. The story isn't the selling point on this. It's just the gameplay. And the deeper I got into it, the more and more I enjoyed the experience. It tries telling you a story, and I kind of paid attention, but I was just having fun, just putting all different stuff in my car. Like my end car is completely different to a car I had maybe 10 hours previously. Yeah. So I've got like a massive gas tank on the top, and then I had like all these cool storage bins all around the car, and I had a thing where it was I had loads of solar panels. It was like completely different. And then my end car that I got when I had to uninstall it because I just was continuing to run after I got the Platinum. I changed my car to a full electric car. So I had a full electric engine, which had crazy horsepower, super fast, and changed everything so it's all just naturally converting energy from the environment. So I didn't have to stop. So I could just fucking go. And it's super cool. And the last resources you get, the kind of last trophies I had were to upgrade everything in my garage. And you needed this stuff called Olympium fragments, and they're quite rare. And I designed a route that would maximize my Olympium returns. And I managed to come out of that one run. Granted, it took me like an hour, but I came out of that with way more Olympium than I could spend. And I was like, yes, like it's so good when you plan a route and it just all pays dividends. So, listeners, I'm not going to spend too much longer on it. I still keep it the same rating as before, an 8 out of 10. It's definitely going in my top 5 games of the year, I think, for this year. I'd struggle not to. I think it's one of the best experiences I've had. But it does get let down by a story that I really don't give two fucks about. And I think that's kind of the game's fault. But absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you're into survival games, go and check it out. The other game I've been playing is I thought I'd boot up I was kind of thinking, what can I play at the moment? And I booted up the Metal Gear Solid collection. And I'd already beaten all the trophies for Metal Gear 1. Not Metal Gear Solid 1, Metal Gear 1, which came out on the MSX back in 86 or whatever. I'd already done all the trophies for that. And to earn the Platinum for the first games in the collection, you have to do everything on Metal Gear 2, which is called Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, which again is an MSX game, came out in 1990, and I'd never played it before. And Metal Gear Solid references Metal Gear 2 loads, all talking about like, when it comes to Gray Fox's backstory, and he's always talking about Zanzibar and what happened there. And I'd never really got the kind of context for it. And playing through Metal Gear 2, I get the context for it, but fuck me, that game does not hold up. Does not hold up at all. Super, super hard. I could not have done it without a guide, ever in a million years. There's so many things where it just expects you to just hit your head against the wall and try everything until it works. There's no game direction. So one part, for example, you come up to a fence, right? And the guards stand in there. And there's an electric fence in front of it. You think, how do I turn this off? And you kind of wander around. You go into a room next door, and there's little kids in there, these orphans. And they're like, owls go hoot. Snakes eat your rations. And I'm like, what? And she's like, animals are kept on the other side of the base. And I was thinking, fucking cheers. Like, these kids are everywhere, and they offer no advice. They're fucking useless, right? They're just telling you how much they hate guns and shit like this. And so I didn't take anything from it. The way to solve that is you go over to the animal lab, there's 2 eggs that you can find, you put them both in your storage, one will hatch and it's a snake, and it just gobbles up every ration you have, so you need to wait for the snake to go back over the egg that it hatched from and then eject it. The other one, an owl comes out. You then need to take that owl to that base where that electric wire thing is, hold the owl out, and it will randomly at some point go, hoo-hoo! The guard goes, oh, it must be nighttime, and turns off the thing, goes to bed. How would you ever know?
That's mental. That is mental.
Why would he even turn it off?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I mean, like, everyone's quick, including me, to heap praise on Kojima. This game's a fucking clusterfuck. It is. I'm telling you what, he did not get his shit together until Metal Gear Solid. Because there's crazy parts in this that I didn't realize MGS had used. Just completely just took the parts from that and just thought, we'll do it again. And it's exactly the same. There's one part where you got to go to a top of a building to hang glide off, right? To hang glide off to reach a bridge which is broken. And it's exactly the same as in Metal Gear Solid 1, where you run up before you fight the Hind. You know, when you're running up like those 20 steps? Yeah. Exactly the same. The floor numbers are the same. Everything's just identical. You're just running up with guards chasing you. And I was thinking, oh, okay, I've seen this before. There's the fast travel system of if you want to move around, you go into a cardboard box, you get put into the back of the van, he'll take you to where you want to go, just like in Metal Gear Solid. There's all these cool little things which are identical, like parallels between the two. But Metal Gear 2 and Metal Gear Solid couldn't be further apart in terms of quality difference. I'm normally one to gush over an old game. I love them. I think they really stand out. This old, I think this cracks. Unless it's a platformer or something that's very, like, rigid, something back as far back as 1990 is hard. Like, it just... The game design did not really find its feet yet. And it doesn't... Like, you go onto a codec, right? You got the codecs just like you do on MGS. And so you think, right, well, I'm not sure what I need to do. I'll phone the codec. And they just come out with random bollocks that's not related to whatever you're doing. Like, I'll phone Master Miller. I'm like, sure, he's going to give me some good advice. And he's like, Snake, you want to be careful of spitting. Enemies can tell how thirsty you are by the colour of your spit. And I'm thinking, you can't spit in the game. Like, it's just giving me a random war fact. It's just giving me a fact. I need to know where to go, Master Miller. Like, it's all this stuff. But, try as I might, I persevered and I earned myself the Platinum Trophy. Oh. Ooh, that's a Platinum.
Jeez, wow.
It is
well
a lot.
Done.
And I've got a confession to make. Because I've been away, listeners. I've been away a lot. I've not been home. If I had been home, I would be coming back here and saying I've only played half hour more of Pacific Drive. I've been able to accomplish this because I have had something now which arrived
Never.
one day after we last recorded. It came the following day. I've got
there
myself a PS.
I knew you would. I knew you would.
Hooray! Phil was right.
I got a device that seems to me reminds me of childhood memories. Wherever I am, I play as long as I have Wi-Fi. Now and then when I go to bed, I say my goodnights and turn my head. But if I play too long, the missus will probably cry. Whoa, PS Portal is mine. Whoa, the portal is mine.
Well, we need a review now.
That's right, listeners. I have caved. So I've had the biggest turnaround anyone has ever fucking seen. And I gotta say, I owe everyone in the audience a massive, massive apology. I have used this device, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you the story. The reason why I bought it is my girlfriend now, she's got the ability where I'm able to go over to her place now. I won't go into the background of it all, but I'm able to go there rather than her coming to mine all the time. And I knew that if I was to go there for 3 or so nights a week, I'm not going to get any gameplay done, and I need to play stuff for review or just for myself. And so I thought to myself, maybe I could get one. And if I could find one cheap enough, if it doesn't deliver the goods, I can sell it and make a profit. So I went on eBay, and for 150 quid, I got the PS Portal, came in this awesome spin gen case, which is like 40 quid in itself, and it's got a back armor attached to it. Now, this case is sick, because inside it, you can fit your, underneath the Portal, which is all like covered and protected, you can fit in the Pulse Elite earbuds.
Oh.
So I can just sit there and just put the earbuds in, it works with the device, and just play. And
Nice.
what I found is that it works pretty much flawlessly. I played 12 hours of Pacific Drive on it, and it was fine. The occasional thing that happens is that once at near the start of a play session, you'll have a moment where it will like kind of like all freeze up, like it kind of like loses kind of sync a little bit. That will happen for maybe 20 seconds. So you can just pause the game. After that, nothing. I noticed no difference at all, like no latency whatsoever. And then I thought, I've kind of taken it everywhere with me. I've used it loads. I've used it on, I've literally everywhere I've gone to a wedding, and I stayed in a travel lodge with shit Wi-Fi. Played it on that, on a mobile hotspot, and it was fine. Played Pacific Drive that way. And while I was away camping this last week, I took it with me, and I thought this would be the ultimate test. Put it on Wi-Fi, on my mobile hotspot, where I had 1 bar of signal, so it was diabolical. And that, the only game I could play, and the reason why I've done Metal Gear 2, is because that was the only game that could work. Everything else was fucked. But Metal Gear 2 could work on it, and there wasn't latency, but the one thing that was happening, it was just losing connection all the time, just because my signal was so bad. But when you ever lose connection, it pauses the game. So no drama. I just got to apologize to everyone. This device fucking kicks ass. It's fucking great. It's actually great. I love it. I actually love it. And now it's going to get at least 3 days a week of play out of it.
And this is what smug looks like. Because what did I tell you? I've been singing the praises of PS Portal even before it came out. And you were like, no, we can go back. We can review the tapes. You absolutely hated PS Portal. You thought you were right, and you were wrong. Phil was right. We need a new theme tune. Phil was right theme tune. It's happened a couple of times on the show. We're episode 97. There's been a couple of things throughout this that I've sworn blind is going to happen, and this was one of them, and I was right. Smug as fuck.
You are more than welcome to make a theme tune. Seeing as most of the theme tunes are my own invention, you're more than welcome to deliver the goods, mate. I'll quite happily, and I'll let you do one for next episode. I'll admit it. I was the biggest skeptic of this device ever. Absolute biggest skeptic. And after your review of saying you played Helldivers on it, Phil, that got me thinking. I was thinking, well, Phil's not going to lie about it. Or if he did, that'd be a long con. And
imagine I did.
Yeah, imagine I just
me and Lewis, I'm like, Lewis, you better swear blind this worked, because the boys are going to grill you. You need to back me up on this, Lewis. If you cut me, I'm cutting you straight out of the podcast. You're never appearing again. But no, we played and it worked really, really well. So now you've just seen what I've been talking about, which is great.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the thing I love about it, and it's such a weird thing, but it made me smile immediately, and I kind of fell in love with the device really quickly, actually, is when you connect up to your PlayStation, it's like pulsing, and then it does like the Doctor Strange
yeah.
portal, and it portals in to your PS5, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like, such a great little animation, and
cool.
that bangs so well. And even the connecting over to like public Wi-Fi's and stuff, it is a faff, like you were saying with the QR codes and that.
Yeah, that's a mess.
It's not that bad, but it is a faff. Like, it's really it's not very good, to be honest. But the device works on basically fuck all, as long as you're playing something small. So I think it's one of those things now that I've got Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 to play for their individual platinums. And I can just play those whenever. And the thing I'm thinking of buying next, I've just put an offer in on eBay for it, is Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Good
so
idea.
I think that would be a great game to be able to play on my Portal. So I'm thinking I can then play that when I'm around Karen's then. I could just get on the portal and sink a few hours, because I can't imagine I'll be playing the games that we're going to talk about later on the portal. I tried Street Fighter, by the way. Fucking impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. So something with that level, like, no chance. But anything else, fine.
1 down, 1 to go. Spence, what are you thinking?
Oh, mate,
Davey's come over to the dark side. He's got himself a PlayStation Portal. You could have joined in that little dance we were doing if you had had one.
Can't afford one, mate. It's just a case of, I'd like one. I think I would like one, but I don't travel as much as you lads. And if I go anywhere, it's George's house, my missus, and she has a PS5. So I don't really need one. I would like one just because I like having Sony stuff and just technology.
One of us.
It's a ways away. When I can afford one, I'm sure I will get one, but just not yet.
150 smackaroos, mate, was what I paid for this with all the stuff.
I've been looking, mate, on Marketplace. I saw one for 120 yesterday.
That's good.
That is good. Very, very good.
I looked at it and I was thinking, fuck, if only I had money. But I was like, fuck.
You're right. If Karen had a PS5 readily available there, like in the bedroom or whatever, I never would have even bothered with this.
No.
But it's
You'd be like, Karen who? PlayStation 5 in the bedroom? You wouldn't see her, mate.
No, that's it, exactly. So now I got the option that I can go over to hers and still play. And then I can do that thing that Phil does, where he sits next to Laura, doesn't speak to her, and plays on the portal. And I can do exactly that. And it turns out she's like, I quite like this. I was like, I fucking love this too, love. I'd put my earpods in. She could just watch CSI Miami or whatever, and I could just drive around collecting my little resources, sucking them up on Pacific Drive, living the dream.
So, Davey, you say you've got the carry case and you've got sort of a backbone protector for the actual device. Was there anything else that came along with your deal, or are you looking to pick up any other accessories? Because I've got a neat little stand which I can display my PlayStation Portal on, and I've also got the scratch-proof cover on the screen, which I would definitely advise you to buy, because that thing, when you start tapping on the screen, it picks up smudges like nothing else. So if you're going to buy something, £5 down, you just get that little screen protector. Perfect little device then.
Thank you, mate. I'll keep that in mind. The only thing I was thinking of getting for it was going to be a carry case for it. That's the thing I thought. I'm going to be taking it everywhere with me, so I need one of those. And it came with it. So no, I wasn't really thinking of anything else. Like having the Elite Buds is just come in so clutch because it just works super, super flawlessly with it. So I feel I'm good, but you are right. Smudges are a proper occurrence. You don't really notice it when you're playing, but when you look at the screen after, you're like, ugh. Like, am I that oily? You know, like, am I like some kind of fucking snake? So maybe having like a screen on top wouldn't be a bad idea. There you go. That's my admission. I've been beaten down, audience, and I'm glad. I'm glad I got beaten down into it.
Do you know what? I'm not surprised as well. I feel like every single episode since you found out about the portal, you've slightly liked it more and more. Every single time. You absolutely despised it, and then every time you're like, oh, that's quite cool. Oh, you can play it on public Wi-Fi now.
It has been like one of those steady walkbacks, and it's I think the biggest thing for it is Phil's recommendation, 100%. Like, you know, taking it away and using it in like a different country and stuff, and it working. It's just like, because I was so skeptical, and like I played on remote play so many times, it's always been shit, and so I was just thinking, nah. But hearing that, I had to see for myself, and Phil's right, you know. What he says, Phil's right. Make a jingle up, Phil, and we'll play it next episode.
The Phil's right jingle.
I will do, because I think you're going to be playing it quite often, because you'll probably play it for Prince of Persia, and you're definitely going to be playing it for Stellar Blade when you get around to Stellar Blade, because I've picked it up now after putting it down after 13 hours of play, and I'm 21 hours into playing Stellar Blade. And I took that short Dave the Diver break, which you heard about for 3 episodes, and I didn't play any Stellar Blade. And I remarked last week, coming into Stellar Blade, it was quite difficult to get my head around it. But I'm invested now. I've spent a lot of time within this game. And if you want to complete this game, Apparently, it's only 21 hours if you are going to mainline it. And I've done 21, but I am trying to do every little thing within the game. So I'm in for 55 hours to get this 100%, okay? Which, to be fair, isn't a super long game, and I think I probably will invest that time. So I've just finished the second Abyss Levoir. You've got to say that in a French accent. And it's leading me towards Spire 4 for anyone who has completed Stellar Blade or has got that far into the game. So this is the 8th out of probably around 15 main missions within Stellar Blade. And I've recently unlocked the Taki skill. And I won't go into any of the background on how I've unlocked that, because that's definitely a spoiler. But that's basically Devil Trigger, Spence. So
Ooh.
playing Devil May Cry, Stellar Blade's got a lot of kind of crossover between the two games there. And it's very reminiscent when you tap the triggers for the Devil Trigger. I've also unlocked the Burst skill, which basically gives you yet more devastating skills to unleash on Eve's enemies. And I've wrote a blog post, guys. So one thing to announce, in PS We Trust, we have now got a blog. It's up under PlayStation-podcast.co.uk. And I've been posting every day, just something to kind of get a little buzz around the podcast, try and reach a few more people, try and get our names out to as many people as possible. And one of the posts I did was Stellar Blade. I did an in-depth review, which I'll link in the description, and we will actually link it in the description this time because obviously it benefits us a lot. I sort of go in and do a really deep dive into the game and sort of break it down on quite a few different aspects. So if you're interested in that, please go over to the blog. But just to give you the TLDR, this game's a solid 8 out of 10. Okay, it got 81%, I believe, in the Metacritic, and there's a lot to love. Few minor issues with pacing and kind of repetitive combat, and some of the monsters keep coming back and back and back. You know, you kill them once and they turn up, you know, a couple of hours later. But overall, very, very solid game, and I'm back in for the long haul. So you'll be hearing about that for the next couple of weeks. So I'll use my theme tune when you get round to Stellar Blade.
Nice, mate. Nice. It's gonna happen. 100% it is. I think for me, it's gonna be Prince of Persia, then Stellar Blade. And then probably on some games that we'll talk about in the news section when we get to it. But, guys, there's a couple of games that you've both been playing together while I've been away, and I haven't been able to join because I am not doing it on the portal on camp Wi-Fi. So, I want to hear all about them. Let's first off, you guys got into, we announced last episode that we got into the 2XKO beta, or alpha, sorry, or whatever it is. I want to know all about it. Spence, you're a resident fighting game player, same as myself. How did you find it?
I don't know. I think it's good. I think it's got promise. It's got a hub world kind of thing, similar to Dragon Ball Fighters, to get online. And it's very cool, whereas if you just go near someone's booth where they're fighting, their match will just hover above the booth, and you can just spectate their game. And if you want, you can press a button to full screen it. It's really cool. It's a great way to spectate someone, and it's almost instant.
That's
really
nice.
clever. But the actual game itself, I don't know. I played on accident with Pulse on. I think it's Pulse, Phil. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But basically it means you have auto combos. So it's kind of like, you know, you can choose your stones in Marvel Infinite. Choose
Yeah,
which
basically
stone you're going with.
grooves.
Your what?
In
sorry?
Marvel vs. Capcom, grooves.
Grooves. There we are. Then your grooves. And you can choose different ones to make your assists better or your one character better or whatever you want to do. But the default one is it gives you auto combos. And so I was in the lab for about 4 hours figuring out a nuts combo, which I sent to you boys, and then got into a real game and the combo doesn't work because I had the pulse thing on. And I was a bit like, oh, it's my own fault, but it was a bit annoying. So then I had to play online with the pulse thing on, so I was playing with auto combos, and sure, I was doing like dash cancels in the air and stuff to make it work. I just didn't enjoy the feel of it too much. But I can see that the game has promise. I can see that it's going to be good. And also just the polish, I don't think was really there. There was quite a few bugs or glitches I got with like untextured, or if you hit rematch, you kind of just fall through the floor for a second and then it rematches. It was really strange. But it is an alpha, so I'll forgive it for that.
Fair enough. I mean, Phil, you're the League of Legends expert on the podcast. Does having the brand associated with this and it being those kind of characters, does that add a lot of the weight to this, or is this actually a good enough fighter in its own right?
Well, it definitely spurred my interest initially, and it got me into the alpha, because that's the only reason I really signed up for this one. Because generally I leave the kind of newer games to you boys when it comes to fighting games, and if it's good, then I'll probably, join you at some point in the future. But I was very much day dot when it came to this game, and I've been looking up everything across YouTube, across socials on this one, just to keep abreast of it, because I'm very invested in the League of Legends world. So we're talking about 2KO, the 2v2 fighting game. So I got on the alpha, as you correctly said. That was between August 8th and August 19th. Obviously, you were away during that time, I believe, so you didn't get to partake in it. But me and Spencer did play some, but unfortunately, we didn't kind of link up. I was a bit sad about that one. I played quite a lot, actually. I went through, played quite a lot of each one of the characters. So during the alpha, you get access to 6 characters. And here you go, Davey. Here's 6 League of Legends characters that you can remember for the quiz a little later. You've got Braum, Ari, Darius, Echo, Yasuo, and Illaoi. And that's generally the more popular characters from League of Legends. They tend to be the poster boys or girls from League of Legends. Obviously, Yasuo generally is a bit of a fan favorite, the same as Ari. So they were obvious in their inclusion. And I put together a very, and I'm stressing, very early tier list when it came to these characters on my YouTube, just as a bit of fun, really, more than anything. I tended to gel a little bit more with Yasuo and Darius, but Echo and Ari, I can see their ceiling being a lot higher because they were quite high skilled when I played them. Illaoi and Braum seemed a bit basic, but that was a very early impression. That's all going to change as this game progresses, because it's an alpha. Literally everything, including all the things Spencer has pointed out as flaws, is going to change with this game because it's high quality. There's a lot of polish that's going to go into this game, and I think a lot of polish is needed within this game, because Spence, you are right, there is some glaring flaws. I fell through the ceiling when I was in the queue or dropped out of the queue. I had to reset the game multiple times, but the actual core gameplay was hella entertaining. I loved exploring all the different grooves or all the different aspects of the game when you first get introduced and you get to kind of augment your characters in that way. But I just want more of the game. I'm invested and I can't wait to see, what Riot give us next with it. What character is going to be next? Davey, are we going to get Master Yi?
Here's hoping, mate. I mean, that would get me through the door. I mean, it is a free-to-play fighting game, isn't it, when it's going to eventually launch? So regardless if Master Yi is day one or if he comes down the line, because he is the most anticipated League of Legends character of all time, as far as I'm concerned, whenever he comes in, I can be there at the door chomping at the bit, right? So I don't have to actually put any money down to be able to enjoy this experience.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's going to stick along the same lines as League of Legends in their, model, where they would basically allow you to play the game for free. You get a certain selection of characters. You would also get a rotation of characters that you can play to kind of sucker you into buying some of the characters. The more you play, you probably have some in-game currency to then purchase these characters. And then all the vanity stuff will obviously get introduced, all the skins and everything else that goes along with League. I'm sure they'll just shoehorn that into the fighting game. But yeah, brilliant. A free game, and it's going to be good. 2v2. I'm up for a bit of that in the future.
And Spence, I suppose the final thing before we move on to the other game, the last game we're going to cover here today, can you see a reality where this pulls you away from Street Fighter or Marvel?
You had to say or Marvel, didn't you?
Yep, yes I did. It's later this year.
I can't see it pulling me away. I can see it hanging around with them, though.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's something, it's a free-to-play fighter. I could see it staying installed on my console. I don't think it's very big file size either. I could see it staying installed, and I could see myself happily playing it in tandem with Marvel 2 and Street Fighter, even if it's probably going to be quite similar to Marvel 2, which might make it a bit annoying to switch between them. But I think it'll stick around, definitely. And Phil, mate, if you're on it as often as you were during the alpha, then bloody hell, we'll be getting good at this game. So I'm keen for it.
There's one interesting point with this game that I don't believe is going to be included within Marvel vs. Capcom because it wasn't in the original. Is the co-op? We can both play. So if we got another person, probably Potato Chief, we can 2v2 each other and play each other. So that's a really interesting aspect when it comes to this. What was the game earlier? And I totally forget it. The one where we were playing Adventure Time. And that was really multiverses. Yes, they tried to explore that aspect of kind of fighting games, and I think it's there for the taking, right? Really now, because multiverses hasn't really taken off the way I suppose they had hoped it would. So the door's wide open for that kind of aspect of fighting games. I'm really interested to see where that could go with this new edition from Riot.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to hear it. I mean, so similar games have done that before, but they've never been like the main kind of mode. You know, like I think about Street Fighter X Tekken. They had that where you could play 2v2s. And so did like Tekken back in the day for like Tekken Tag. They had that included in, you could do that as well. But it was never the main way to play. Whereas I've seen results for tournaments where it is 2v2s. And so if that is their kind of niche, that's a fucking great idea. Because that will really, that's a brilliant little avenue for this. We'll wait and see though. And I'm looking forward to being able to try it out myself in the future, whenever the next round of betas or alphas comes out. But guys, the game that I am most anticipated to hear about is a little game that we've all bought, or myself and Phil bought, and because I bought it, Spence, you were able to piggyback off the back of that sale, and that is Concord. Now, I was not able to join you with the launch of this game, and it seems like, judging by social media, that we're the only people in the world who actually own it. Of course, I will stress, and I will preface before any of this, that regardless to what the Steam numbers say, that don't really mean fuck. Wait till we get the monthly sales chart, and if it doesn't chart, or if it's really low down, you can read from that it hasn't done very well. But that's, pump the fucking brakes, people. People saying it's fucking game over because there's 600 people on Steam. Steam? Who the fuck cares about Steam? They're all there playing a fucking Chinese monkey game. They can all get fucked. Like, what are they fucking talking about? But, lads, I want to hear it from yourselves. Is Concord the absolute shit show that Metacritic and social media would have you believe? Because at the moment, it's only been like 5 reviews for Metacritic. It's sitting like a 66. None of the big outlets have come through yet to be able to influence that score too much. So, I want to hear all about it. How has launch weekend gone for Concord? And Phil, I want to come to you first.
It's 67 and you've got a -4 on Fantasy, Davey.
Early days yet, my friend. There's only 9 reviews or whatever out. I'm playing the long game with this.
Stay low.
I'm playing the long game with this. I'm hoping it can get up to about a 75, which is where I thought it would be, which would be enough to earn some points. And the only reason I had it, not to derail too much, is because I had chosen Phantom Blade Zero, and it's not coming out this year. So before it gets told that it's not coming out this year officially, and I get locked with it, like Potato Chief has with Avowed, I was like, I'm going to drop it, and I can't think of a game quick enough. Fucking chuck on Concord. So I'm just hoping if it gets up to a 75, I'll at least earn some points where I would have earned none. That's my long game for this. But we'll wait and see what IGN come out with.
We'll see. Hopefully it's bad, but I'm really, really enjoying this game. So Concord, it dropped on the 23rd of August. I pre-ordered the game, and I've been playing it pretty much ever since. Every night I've been on, and I have popped on during the days. I've put a total of 9 hours, and that's quite a lot for me into the beta, and I'm now around that for the full game, and that's only going to go up and up. I've been playing a lot with Maloon. Seems to be our #1 fan at the moment. He seems to be everywhere, all across our Twitter, and he's always on Concord. So yeah, I've been playing with him most of the time. I have jumped on with yourself, Spence, and Lewis. I jumped on for a session last night, which went terribly with Lewis. My God, he changed his character, and he was just going O10s, and he was dragging the team down. And I think he could sense I was getting a little pissed off with him when I was like, mate, I'm off to bed now. Because that's what happened last night. I got quite annoyed at old Lewis because I had a positive score in Concord, and I thought generally within first-person shooters, your COD games, you're always talking about your stats, and you're always, laying down the kind of, I've got a better stat than you, and I saw my stats just dripping through my fingers, and it was all down to Lewis. But anyway, still love the game. Davey, I've been cheating on you, unfortunately, and I've been cheating with your girl, Amari, the anchor. She is an absolute beast. I've loved her. I'm up to level 10 with her. She's my most played character. Rocker's only sitting on level 8. So, I think people figured out Roker. So as soon as we got into the actual full game, Roker's a much more difficult character to play than she was in the beta. In the beta, jump up in the air, no one knew where you were going. You got loads and loads of kills. But now, during the full game, she's been figured out because she is so smooth brain. I'm now getting my teeth into the new technician, Dawn. So if you remember the sort of healer Looks like a woman, definitely a guy. It is in the pronouns.
Oh, yeah. Big Mama. Big Mama Dawn.
The quite confusing looking one. But I've been liking her or him quite a lot recently, so that's the next one that I'm going to be playing quite a lot of. It's still early days, but I did put a short post, again, just to plug the blog. Head over to the blog. Have a look. Did a short roundup of Concord, so that's on the blog for you guys to read. And it's nice to put a little bit of positivity about the game in this world full of hate. And unfortunately, I just don't understand it from the wide majority of the people tweeting and like putting things out at the moment, because Concord's great. Concord's really, really fun. I've been having a blast.
Man, I'm glad to hear it. And I'm glad to hear that you've tried out my girl, Imari, which, to be fair, you've been riding the coattails of my characters here. This is what I'm getting, right? I was Rocker, and then I had to switch from Rocker because you wanted to play Rocker, even though I've been smoking every time I play Rocker. If I play Rocker, the enemy team are falling over themselves, don't know what to fucking do. So I was like, fine, I'll move off her, I'll go to someone else. And then I find a Davis, and you're like, oh, I really like Davis too. It's like, fuck's sake, okay, I'll go Amari. Find Amari. Turns out she's absolutely cracked out the arse.
Busted.
You've now found she's cracked out the arse, which she is. I don't know how she hasn't been nerfed, because she is fucking broken. Being able to get a shield to give you 200 health anytime you want. Sure, it lasts for 3 seconds. 3 seconds before you get into a gunfight, they are smoked. Like, what are they thinking, giving her that with a fucking minigun? Absolutely outrageous. And a nutty melee, which kills in 2 hits on any of the cast. Like, what the fuck? Like, the nuts character. So, I'm glad that you found her. What it means is, whoever I find next, I can expect that I won't have a long life with them. That's what I'm getting from this.
Mate, we've got to share. Just get used to it. You know, we have to share these women around between us. We're passing back and forth. That's what we're doing with Amari at the moment, and it's working out pretty well. When you're away, off enjoying yourself in the sunshine, Amari's come home to daddy. and we've had a bit of fun.
That's fine, mate. You can fill her up all you want. I mean, the good thing about it is we get these crew bonuses, right? So it pays us to be able to switch around. So I guess the only thing is, whoever picks their character first, it's just if we die. Because I really just didn't really die very much for Amari. So
no, she doesn't die.
She does not die. She does not believe in death, that character, and I'm all for it. But everyone I've played on that game, I've really enjoyed so far, and I'm sure I will. Now, Spence, I want to hear your thoughts on this. You've been on a roller coaster when it comes to Concord, originally not liking it as part of the beta, and then coming around and really finding your feet when you came to ITZY. How have you found the full release so far?
This game's sick. I understand all the negativity because, like everyone else, I didn't enjoy it. But I honestly believe these people just need to experiment with characters and put more time into the game. This game is really, really good. I've got ITZY level 10, Starchild level 10, Lennox level 10, and the character I'm working on right now is Imari. I've got it to level 7.
Here we go.
And I'll tell you what I've been doing. So Baz is the black woman who throws knives. Her crew bonus is high mobility. So I start as Baz, and then as soon as I die, I switch to Imari, and then I've got like twice the movement speed that she normally has, and I'm running around. And I was playing with Maloon half an hour before we started recording this show. From 5 p.m. until 8, we were playing. And our strategy, he's leveling Door at the moment, that bloke in the big puffer coat who sometimes looks like a woman, but is a bloke. And what we did is nuts. So I started as Baz, died, switched to, what's her name? Imari. And we were on the top of stairs. He put 3 healing pads beneath me. And I just stayed up there shooting my minigun. And I was healing more than I was taking. So I just stayed up there.
Oh, God.
I ended the game with 17 kills and that 1 death from when I was Baz.
That's mad.
With, I think it was like 12 kills, 17 assists, and 1 death. It was nuts, and it's just... And then if they start shooting me, I need to heal a bit. Shields up, stay on the healing pads. Oh, back to shooting. It was busted. I didn't move for the whole game.
Guys, we cannot let this get out. I'm glad we've only got a small viewership, because I do not need her, right, to get nerfed. Let's keep this quiet, all right? Let's talk about other character. Let's not talk about Amari. Let's keep this on the DL, all right?
What we need to do, there was a really a really good strategy that Street Fighter 6, right, for those that don't know, it had one big balance patch per year, right, for the season. That's all they're doing. And so what happened is everyone knew that Ken was bust out the arse. So all the Ken players united to say that Luke was cracked, to say that Luke was busted, even though they knew it was Ken. Ken got out of it with minimal changes. Luke got fucked. Luke had everything happen to him, and it's all the Ken mains pushing it through. And now you see Luke's hardly played, and Ken's still number one most played character. We just got to keep this on the DL. Anytime we mention it, right, outside of here, Twitter, whatever it is, no one bring up my girl Amari, right? No one. Don't you dare.
Our girl.
Our girl.
All
Our
three of us.
Collective.
The podcast girl of choice, Amari. No one bring her up, and we'll put all of it onto a character that doesn't need it, right? So, Rocker, for example. We all like Rocker. She's got low health, as it is. Maybe she does quite a bit of damage, right? Let's bring that health down a bit.
Nah. Mate, if you're going to nerf anyone, nerf one off. Nerf him.
Oh, one off, mate, yeah.
So annoying. You can't even hit him. He just sucks it all up, and you're just kind of like, oh, I guess I'll run away instead. It sucks. It's not fun. Nerf him.
I haven't played one off yet, and I got a feeling that I'll play him and quite like him. Quite like sucking it up. I got a feeling I'll like it. So I don't want him hit. I want somebody that I already know is like good and doesn't deserve any more nerfs, and that'll be Rocker, just because it'd be a laugh. Because I think that Rocker's probably going to be the most played character, I have a feeling. Like, I got a feeling that everyone's got, like, loves her because she is smooth brain as hell. So the more they nerf that character, that would just be fucking jokes. Because that character drops so fast.
Yeah,
like,
easy.
Dead. Like, obliterated. But, lads, I'm fucking glad to hear it, man. I'm fucking glad to hear about the love for Concord. It's nice to hear the difference of opinion compared to the masses out there, which are just hating on this for seemingly no reason. Just because there's pronouns in the game and the characters aren't overly attractive.
With one off, though, you'd only be able to suck for a couple of minutes, though.
Does he have a time limit on his suck?
Spencer's question earlier.
Yes, mate, I know, but if he can keep it going for the full 12 minutes of a match, he's I tell you, that thing is gonna suck you off, man.
You'd be like, ah!
Yeah, stop! Like, I'm tapping out, bro.
Tapping out.
Oh, Christ. Well, I'll be looking forward to joining you on Concord pretty soon. I'm sure that I'm going to be playing it fucking loads over the next couple of days. So if anybody is on, hit me up. I shall be around.
Maybe even after this show.
Maybe, potentially. See how quick news is, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But with that, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, let's move it on to quick news. Quick news.
Quick news, viewers and listeners. Welcome to Quick News, and thank you for sticking with us to this part of the show. Now, Quick News is the time where we like to challenge each other, and recently we've been doing categories, haven't we, boys? And it's been a lot of fun, especially for Davey, because he got absolutely butt-fucked the last episode, because we just chose things that I liked, and then he tried to pull it back with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And how well did that go for you?
Well, Spencer failed,
I lost
didn't
that.
he? Spencer failed that.
Yeah. I couldn't get Jingle All the Way out my head. It was all I was thinking of, but I didn't know what it was called.
So let's run that back this episode. So the way it's going to work is that I'll pose a category. It'll go round in a circle to Spencer, to Davey, back round to me. And then if you mess up, if you repeat a category, if you take too long to answer it, you get a mark against your name. And at the end of Quick News, that's all totaled up, and whoever's the worst gets a shot in the dock. I think, Davey, you had two in the last episode, so good luck for this one. Let's see how this one goes.
Yep.
Okay, well, we've done League of Legends characters, we've done Transformers, we've done football, so those are the big three that I know a lot about. So what else can I stiff you with on this episode? Okay, I'm going to go plants.
Daffodils.
Daisies.
Chrysanthemum.
Roses.
Fuck. Oh my god. Grass.
No.
You weren't even taking long. You just started with, oh my god, oh my god, oh my fuck, oh my god.
I was just thinking rubies. And I was thinking rubies aren't a fucking plant.
That's a gem, mate.
I know. Oh. I don't like categories, bro. I don't like categories.
All right, quick news. So, lads and listeners, once again, we have brand new games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium as part of the game's catalog. and they are as follows: The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for PS4, PS5, Wild Hearts Standard Edition PS5, Cult of the Lamb PS4, PS5, Ride 5 PS5, Watch Dogs 2 PS4, Sword Art Online Last Recollection PS4, PS5. It's back again. Naruto the Boruto Shinobi Striker PS4, Sword Art Online Alicization Licorice? God knows. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet PS4, another one. Sword Art Online Hollow Realization PS4. Jesus. And then for the PSVR 2 and classics, Vacation Simulator PSVR 2, Time Splitters PS4, PS5, Time Splitters 2 PS4, PS5, Time Splitters Future Perfect PS4, PS5, Sword Art Online Lost Song PS4. Fuck, I hope you boys like Sword Art Online. Jesus Christ. Right, lads, what do you think of this monthly offering? Any of these games take your fancy? Phil, over to you.
Wow, me first. Not normally me first. You caught me off guard there, but I'm glad I don't get a mark against my name because, well, the big ticket item here, I suppose, is The Witcher, because that's like a 92% on Metacritic. So that's the big title. But guys, I just don't have time for The Witcher, because that's like an 80 to 100 to 120 hour game there. So no, thank you. The one that really sticks out to me, I suppose, is Cult of the Lamb. That's 82 on Metacritic, because that looks perfect for PS Portals. That's probably the one that I would lean towards, outside, of course, Time Splitters 1, 2, and Future Perfect. 81%, 83%, and 83% for Future Perfect. So yeah, Time Splitters would be the game.
Davey, what about you?
So for me, I've already got The Witcher 3, and I've already put like 80 odd hours into it and accomplished nothing. Mostly because of Gwent, and also because there's just an unlimited side quests. So I have no interest in going back, as much as I did enjoy my time with it. For me, there's two big ticket items here outside of Time Splitters, which Phil's already mentioned. And that is Cult of the Lamb. Being the first. I've heard nothing but massive praise for this, and I remember putting this into my wish list ages ago, and I just never bought it. And now it's something that I think, right, well, I could download that and have that for the Portal, and that'd be a great Portal game to play. So I do want to check that out. I really, really do. The one that I'm super interested in, which I just kind of want to see because I've seen loads of videos on it, is Ride 5. I've seen so many videos where I couldn't even tell it was a fucking game. Like, the graphics were so good. It was in the Isle of Man, TT or whatever it is. And I was watching it, and it was rain coming down. And I thought, fuck me, this guy's bombing it round here. Like, I've never seen it on a first-person view before for you know, the motorcyclists going around an Isle of Man. And then I realized it was a fucking game. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I had no idea. It was so photorealistic. And I looked up while you were going through the list because I thought this would be perfect in VR.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is not on PSVR 2, which sucks because this would be perfect for it. But those are the ones that are really tickling my fancy here. Because Sword Art Online, I watched the first season and it was great. Season 2, it lost me. It gets a bit.
I don't think you even mean
sussy.
season 2. I think you mean the second half of season 1.
Oh, where they go to Fairyland.
They go to Fairyland and his sister wants to bang him.
Yeah, fucking horrific. Wow. Yeah, it's horrific. And it just got worse from there. And I thought, I can't watch any more of this. Time Splitters, I would like to replay. The only thing that puts me off, and it sucks that it's putting me off, but it is, there's no trophies.
Yeah.
No trophies. And that sucks. I played Time Splitters 1 to 3 to death. Like, to death. I know them intrinsically well. And the one that's going to be a massive sticking point that people won't agree with me on, Time Splitters 3 is the best out of the 3. Everyone says Time Splitters 2. Nah, it's 3. Better co-op. Better. It actually had a story. Sick. It's fucking perfect. So, it says Future Perfect. It was Future Perfect to me. So, but I'm not going to play it because there's no trophies. And that's the only reason. So I'm sticking with Ride 5 and Cult of the Lamb. What about yourself, Spence?
Fair enough, mate, fair enough. That's crazy. For me, lads, for one, Witcher 3 I think is the big seller. It's a shit game. I'll die on this hill. I think it's a terrible game. The combat is so dull. You've got like one swing and then a lunge, like a little twirl forward swing, and that is it. That's your melee combat. It's gash. Sure, you've got spells. Sure, you've got loads of side quests and shit. I ain't got time for that. And why would I want to spend all that time doing this gash-ass freaking combat? I think the world of The Witcher is really cool. I think Geralt's a cool character. I don't like the way the game feels, so I will never play that game again. And I am happy to leave that as it is. The big one for me, boys, and you boys have already said it, Cult of the Lamb. I've had my eyes on this game since it launched. I've been desperate to play it, and I've just been waiting because it's always looked like a PS Plus game. Always has, and I've been waiting eagerly for ages. It's already installed on my PS5. The second I saw, I downloaded it immediately. And I think you boys are spitting. I think you're right. It is 100% a PS Portal banger. And now the latest patch as well has added co-op. So you boys could be sat next to each other on your PS Portals co-oping. Wouldn't that be cute?
That would be cute. Is this split screen co-op or is it just online?
I'm not sure. I'll check for you now.
If it's online, we could all just do it together, couldn't we? PS Portal or not.
Couch co-op.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's only couch co-op, but it definitely has couch co-op.
Yeah. One to uncover ourselves, I suppose, when we boot into it.
I suppose so. But the other thing I'll mention, Watch Dogs 2 is a really good game. I'm not going to play it because I've already beaten it, but it's really good. All that sort of online malarkey can fuck off and do one. But Vacation Simulator is a big get, and I've already played quite a bit of Time Splitters since it released on PS Plus. I was over Dayman's, and we were doing co-op on the campaign. And I got to watch him do a lot of the challenges in the game, which are freaking solid, by the way. Because you have to get, if you want to get platinum on all the challenges, it's a ball ache, but it makes for really fun entertainment to watch people try to do it. So that was great. But other than that, I think it's a pretty strong month. If you absolutely bum Sword Art Online. Otherwise, it's a decent month. But I'm not sure what you boys think of how good the overall month is.
I think for me, when you look at the classics, this is what you want from classics. Time Splitters nails it. You know, that's why you play for premium, is you get this kind of level. And premium, so far, ever since we were complaining about it, 7 or 8 months ago, has been coming up with banger after fucking banger after banger. And it's really shown that there is value in having that tier now, when before that was a question. So I think on that avenue it's good. And I think in terms of the big releases, you've got Watch Dogs here and you've got The Witcher. Let alone if you were interested in Cult of the Lamb Ride. I think there's something for everyone this month, and there's enough big tickets here that this is a great month. However, for me, the big kind of tickets I've already got or I'm not interested in. So it kind of goes down the level for me, but I think it's a decent month. Yeah, I'd say it's decent to good.
What about you, Phil?
Yeah, I've got to stick along those same sort of lines, really, because obviously The Witcher and Watch Dogs, they are, as we keep saying, the big ticket items here that would attract people to subscribe to the service. And if you haven't played those games or you don't have knowledge of those games, I think they would shine quite a lot. They would be the jewel within the crown within this offering. I don't think Cult of the Lamb would stick out as much as those two games. But yeah, Davey, you are right when it comes to, the top of the end of the service with Time Splitters. This was the thing that would probably attract me more than anything. But as I said earlier when we were talking about them, I still own them, and I still own them on multiple platforms, both GameCube and PS2. So literally no reason for me to subscribe to the higher service. And obviously the games, The Witcher and Watch Dogs, it just doesn't hold my interest, unfortunately. So good for the majority, but for myself, not really anything of interest, really.
Decent boys. Well, with that, let's move on. So round to yourself, Davey. We were a bit overly mean to you last episode, I think. So how do I feel about you today? You've been a bit gone, mate. You've not been,
I think my confidence was shaken last episode. I was doing really, really well on word association. Don't think I'd lost one. And then here we are, categories last time, and it was brutal. It's the worst loss we've had on record so far. It was like a clean sweep loss. So I think now categories is it's taking me, like I'm double thinking myself, and you can't you can't play that game in the categories game.
I got one, but it's a limited number. So if we get all of them, whoever's last just loses. But this does favor me and Phil. But you should still be able to do well.
I know what this is going to be.
Concord characters.
Davis,
One off.
Itzy.
Rocker,
Amari.
Teo.
Jamali.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah, that's his name, right?
Dawn.
Lennox.
Teo. Or
I said Teo.
Said it.
I was surprised neither of you went Star Child.
Oh, fuck, I forgot my Star
yeah.
Child.
You had
Fuck.
Star Child, you had Lark, you had
Oh, yeah,
Haymar,
Larkin Lark.
you had Baz, you had Duchess.
Oh, Duchess, yeah. I like her. Oh, well. Quick news. So, I've got a duo of VR stories for you today. So, the first thing is that there's been a brand new trailer which has come out alongside a release date for Alien Rogue Incursion. So, this is the Alien VR game which is coming now on December 19th, 2024. If you pre-order, you do get access to an Alien Romulus-inspired weapon and armor skin, which I will not look at because I haven't seen the movie until tomorrow. So I do not want to see what that fucking looks like. All I know is I've seen the trailer, and fuck me, everything I see for this game looks insanely good. And the thing we were worried about last time we mentioned this, I think it was in like the Game Awards last year or whatever, and I put it as... straight away I was like, yep, that's my thing, that's my standout for the show. Or it might be in like a state of play or whatever it was where it came up, and you guys were like, oh, it's probably gonna be shit, blah 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 blah. The alien moving around the environment is perfect, which is always the hard thing to get done, right? Seeing this, it looks terrifying, and I can just imagine how much my arsehole's going to be quivering while I play this game. I cannot wait. I'm so in for this on December 19th. That's going to be the best Christmas present ever. It's like a Halloween in December. Best way to get my arsehole going. Give me aliens in fucking VR. It's going to be fucking immense. Have you guys seen the trailer or any further footage on this since it was initially shown?
I have seen the trailer, and I've got to agree with you. It looks absolutely brilliant. It looks scary as hell. But much like you, I haven't seen Alien Romulus, but I have seen a lot of people popping off, and I've seen a lot of tier lists of Alien movies with them rating this very, very highly. So I think, as much as I'm not a big movie guy, I need to go to the cinema and watch this one. I really do. I'm really excited. I'm really hype on everything Aliens at the moment. And if I had VR, I think this would be a game I'd be interested in purchasing.
Oh,
Wow.
big praise, big praise. Well, Spence, you got the VR. Is Alien Incursion going to do it for you?
Well, it's a horror game, man. It's in VR, horror games are different. I haven't seen Alien Romulus either. I did, like I said about Time Splitters, I was with Dayman the other day. He has seen it. He said it's bad. But he's got kind of a pedestal for films that is above most other people's. So I'm sure he's probably half right, but it might be good enough that we'll all still enjoy it. Who knows? But I'm excited to watch it anyway. The game, I've seen the trailer for the game. Fuck, man. I didn't want to play Alien Isolation when it was on a PS5 or on a console. Now you're telling me I can do one with better AI in VR? No thanks. I'm okay. I mean, maybe I'll try it once. Am I going to beat the game, get a platinum? Fuck no. I'm good. I'll be playing mini golf. It's just not one for me. I'm good, lads. I'm good, thanks.
Well, I'm sure I'll let you know all about it after December 19th. That'd be a nice little Christmas present then, Spence. If it's that good, maybe I can make some content out of you. Could be I could put you in it. We could screen cap it, record you, and maybe put it up on the YouTube. That'd be a bit of fun, wouldn't it? That'd be class, actually. There you go. That's a good idea for some future content. But the reason why I said this was a duo is because I got some other VR news. And Spence, this is something that I would very much like to do with yourself. Kayak VR, the game that I swear I've gone on about more when it comes to VR than any other VR project in existence. When that game was originally coming out, they said that they were going to work towards a multiplayer. And it wasn't there on launch. It's now been, like 18 odd months. And finally, Kayak VR multiplayer is in beta on Steam, which means that it is going to be coming to the PS5 soon. Now, this looks awesome. From what I've seen so far, it is just you and a mate. You've both got your individual kayaks. You can both see your avatars, and you go around exploring together. I am so in for going back to Kayak VR. I really think about it quite often. Would you want to come and experience Kayak VR with me a little bit more, Spence, than you already have?
Mate, I would absolutely love to, especially just because as well, what an enjoyable platinum that would be. Just swimming around with your mate. Yeah, lovely. I'd adore it, mate.
I reckon it'd be fun as hell. The only thing that gets in the way of this platinum, this is a 0.1%er for this platinum, and it's because the one-time trial is egregiously hard. I spent hours on it. I remember sweating like mad, so hard. But if I can nail that, then all I got to do is swim, do 1,000 miles or whatever, or 100 miles in a kayak, which then we could do that together and do some whale watching. That'd be nice.
Mate.
That'd be lovely. Phil, would the idea of being able to kayak with us as buddies, go out on a 3-way kayak date, would that tickle your fancy to get you more inclined to the VR trail?
Well, even if that was possible, probably not, mate. I think it's only caught for 2 people. But what I find interesting with this story is obviously they've released the beta on Steam, or that's coming very, very soon. And they're just gathering data from PC. I wonder what data they're gathering. I don't know if that is a straight up excuse there just to delay the PS5. Maybe it's a little bit more technically intense to develop over on that console rather than to put it out on Steam. But again, all this is just assumptions because I'm not a video games developer, but I would just be interested to find out what data they're actually discovering over on PC that's going to help them in this transition over to PS5. Any thoughts?
Well, a lot of the times when it comes to patches and stuff, you've got to go through a certain level of cert for PlayStation. So it could be that they want to make sure that the kind of the bugs and stuff are kind of ironed out before it gets to that platform. That would be my kind of 2 cents, not knowing the full landscape the developers go through. But I do know that there is a certain level of kind of quality that has to pass to be able to get through on this side. And I suppose with PC, you've got like a really dedicated hardcore fan base. It's a little bit easier to talk to, when it comes to like a Steam community page rather than through PlayStation. So I imagine it's a lot easier to be able to get that direct feedback than it is to launch it onto PlayStation first and then have to wait for just Twitter tell you something's wrong. That would be my 2 cents.
And they're only going to tell you the bad stuff.
100%.
100. Well, it's just going to be. They're saying they're collecting real world data on how multiplayer performs first, isn't it? So all it's going to be, they're going to be figuring out whether they want it to be like server based, peer to peer, how it connects. They probably just want to smooth it all out. And if it's only in beta, it's probably not even close to finished. It's just got a rough build that works, and whilst they gather that information, once it's done, I think we'll have it right away.
Hopefully not long, mate, and we can get into the Arctic together, take us through the jungle for a nice little leisurely cruise along. Oh, I'm actually so excited. Be like mini golf all over again, except, no need to be competitive. We can just go and chat about our days, mate, while we enjoy the scenery and the sights of Kayak VR. What a dream that is. So, categories time. Okay, let's do something that, again, is quite limited, but I think we've got more than enough here to do a categories round, and that would be planets and moons of the solar system.
The moon.
Yeah.
Mars.
Earth.
Uranus.
Jupiter.
Mercury.
Saturn.
Pluto doesn't. Are you counting Pluto?
I'll let it slide.
Up for debate, innit?
I'll let it slide, yeah, go on.
Pluto.
Io.
Earth.
Said
We done Earth? We done Earth?
Did we?
Yeah, I did Earth.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck is Io?
It's a moon.
Where?
I think it orbits Jupiter. It's like a poisonous moon. It looks horrible. Especially compared to the other moons of Jupiter, which all look lovely.
Jupiter's moons.
There's loads. Jupiter's got like hundreds of moons.
Oh, Io.
Yeah, it looks manked.
Io
it's
looks like
green and stuff.
You know,
Yeah, mate, it does, mate. It does, mate. If somebody came from Io, I reckon they'd be gloopy. Like they'd be, like in cartoons where someone's made of like green slime. That's what they'd be if they came off from Io, I reckon. If we find aliens there, they're just going to be splodges. Like the astronaut would be like, this thing's alive, and he'd just be poking it, it'd be like a jelly. It'd be shit. It'd be like a shit alien if we found it there. You'd be like, fuck me, life does exist and it's this. Gloop.
Gloop.
It's gloop, bro. It stinks as well.
What a waste of time.
Well, fucking bin it off, lads. We don't need to go anywhere else. This place fucking suck.
Quick news, and I've got some updates on the Plucky Squire. And Davey, you'll be particularly interested in this one because it's in your Fantasy Critic. Now, this is coming out, and it's coming straight to PS Plus on September 17th. So for those who don't know what the Plucky Squire is or have been living under a rock, this is an action-adventure video game developed by an indie developer called All Possible Futures and published by Devolver Digital. So this was one I know we were all sort of keen on when it was announced, and it comes from some good pedigree, some good stock. James Turner, the co-founder, along with Jonathan Biddle, he worked on the Pokemon games, so there's some good stock backing the Plucky Squire, so it's a lot to get excited about. Outside, it's coming straight to PS Plus. Now, guys, what I want to ask you, A, are you excited about the Plucky Squire? And B, do you think it coming to PS Plus is going to hamper it at all? Spencer, I'm coming over to you first.
Mate, I think, from what I've seen, first of all, I'll say it coming to PS Plus doesn't mean jack. Just because, like, Stray was a day one PS Plus, and it is fucking phenomenal. It is a fantastic game that I wish would come back to Plus, so I don't have to buy it because I'm so close to the platinum and I can't play it anymore. I'm like 3 trophies away. It's a proper nightmare. I should just buy it, but like I've said before, I'm skint. But Plucky Squire, I've seen more trailers recently as well. I've looked at it again since we found out we're getting it for free. It's such a charming little game, isn't it? It looks like a proper gem. And I wish it released a bit earlier than it is, just because at this point it's quite close to Astro. And I feel like, sure, they're going to be different games. Plucky Squire is a lot more like of a flat game, whereas Astro's is a 3D platformer. And sure, Plucky Squire changes its mechanics and how it functions. I do wish these kind of similar games targeted for younger players kind of were a bit more spaced out. But other than that, I think they both look brilliant. I think Plucky Squire is going to absolutely bang on PS Plus.
Nice. David, do you agree with what Spencer's putting down?
100% I do. I think Plucky Squire looks amazing, and my list when it comes to fantasy has all been games that I'm interested in. And Plucky Squire went in there pretty quick, and I think it's going to be fucking amazing, this game. Now, for me, all I'm going to say to them in terms of the PlayStation Plus launching straight on Extra, I never feel like, as Spence said, there's never a sign of quality or not, because Stray exists. And there's also that, there was that game that came earlier on this year, I think it was, Spence, or was it late last year, that everyone was raving about, that came straight into the service. You and me never played it. We didn't. It was like a 2D kind of RPG that launched earlier this year that had everyone hyped up. I can't remember what it's called now. Launched probably February time. And that had everyone hyped up, and that launched day one into the service as well. I think all it is for the Plucky Squire is that I just hope to God they got a big bag from PlayStation, because I would have happily paid for this at full price on launch. And I think, judging from what people have said on Twitter, a lot of people would have as well. So you just got to hope that the revenue they got from launching it into the service directly is really good, because otherwise they could come out of this worse than they would have had. And like, there's certain games that have benefited loads from being straight into the service, like Rocket League, I always think, on PS4, when that launched directly into PlayStation Plus. That was huge for them, because it got a lot of eyes onto it, and it kind of launched Rocket League into what it is these days. But obviously they make a lot of money through recurring income, right? From people buying cars and skins and all that shit. You won't get any of that with Plucky Squire. So you just kind of hope that PlayStation said, here's a fucking metric fuck ton of money for us to get it in our service. And I believe they've already got it in Game Pass as well. So that's 2 bucket loads of money. And maybe they thought that guaranteed income is enough for us. You know, we've made more than enough here. Whereas on the flip side, if they run that gambit, they may have come out of this with a huge sleeper hit on their hands. You just don't know, do you? And I suppose that's the gamble they've kind of gone for. But I really hope they've got their bag. I'm super chuffed this comes into the service. And it's a day one download, a day one play for me. September 17th. Can't fucking wait. What about yourself, Phil?
I really wish they had held on and held out, because this game, I think everyone I spoke to has been interested in it. It spurred a lot of people's interest when it was sort of announced. And I can't remember what show it was at, but I remember that being one of the ones that we were like, oh, this looks genuinely interesting. They're trying to do something different here, right? And them kind of taking the bag early with the PS Plus, with the Game Pass, I wish they'd risked it. I really do. I think this game could have made it, but time will tell. We're all going to buy it, or we're all going to download it and play it, but actually, we probably would have all bought it and paid them direct. We all would have with this one. Okay, Spence, my next category is UK chocolate bars.
Sound. I famously don't like chocolate, so I'll give this a whirl, boys. I'll say my favourite one to start, actually. Galaxy Cookie Crumble.
Dairy Milk.
Whisper.
Snickers.
Rolos.
Mars.
What's it called, that really nice one? Milky Bar Kid. Not the one I was thinking of.
That's not a bar, my friend. That is not a bar. It's not Milky Bar Kid. That is just the character. It is a Milky Bar is the bar, not the Milky Bar Kid. You cannot eat the Milky Bar Kid.
He's on the bar, is he not?
He is not on the bar. It is just now, the Milky Bar Kid is nothing to do with Milky Bar anymore. That's just
a crime.
It is. He's not on it. I bought Casa Milky Bar yesterday. It is just says Milky Bar. No kid involved.
You're going to make me lose on that?
I am.
That's fair enough. I'll take it's not the one I was thinking of. That's why I said Milky Bar Kid. What's the one, it's a crunchy or so. It's honeycomb in the middle. Is that
what, crunchy?
Yeah,
crunchy,
it's just called a crunchy. In my head, I was like, it's not called a crunchy. Those bang.
Maltesers bang.
Maltesers, they're not a chocolate bar.
No, you wouldn't count them? They come in, yeah, I mean, you go for some chocolate. Someone said chocolate and they get you Maltesers. You're not going to be like, that's not fucking...
No, but you didn't ask for a chocolate. If you asked for a chocolate bar and they gave you Maltesers, you would be like, that's not a chocolate bar.
No, fair. All right.
You know?
Fair enough. Well, you could have called me on that one next because I would have gone for Maltesers.
Damn shame. Damn shame.
Damn.
Does Maltesers not do a chocolate bar, though? I'm pretty
yeah,
sure I've seen them do a chocolate bar.
They do, and it's like...
it's a Malteser teaser, it's called, or something. It's like an emphasised the teaser, and they fucking slap as well, by the way.
Yeah, they're class. And at Christmas time, you get like the Maltesers bars, which are like shaped like a fucking Christmas tree or an elf and shit. They fucking slap tits as well. Yeah. Anything Maltesers do, they don't miss, bro. They don't miss Maltesers.
It's true.
If they release a video game, bro, look out.
Soft on the outside, crunchy in the middle.
Oof.
All right, quick news, boys. So for my second bit of news, we are going to be talking about the casting of Frank Stone. There is a new trailer that has dropped, and it shows us a lot more about what is inside this game. So it is very much kind of an Until Dawn set in the world of Dead by Daylight. We all kind of knew this, but we've seen some new features. We've seen how the decision making works. So it's kind of like a wheel that says flee or face your fears or whatever it says, and you get to choose. And the big thing for streamers is there's now viewer integration if you're streaming. So your chat in your stream can make your decisions for you. I think that's really cool. And this is going to be a big streamer game, I think. Have you boys seen this trailer? And has it got you excited for this game? Davey, over to you.
I certainly have. And yes, this looks like normal supermassive run-of-the-mill for me. And especially like when it comes to that Twitch integration, they've done that for the last couple of releases as well, which has been really, really nice. It's been great to see they've been on the forefront for that. For me, the thing that I really like about this, and it's going to be such a minor point in this trailer, but one that really stood out to me, is the ability to go in, look at the timeline for different events, and go directly from that point. So normally when it comes to running the platinums on these games, they're a fucking nightmare for the supermassive games. The only ones I've ever got the platinum for, I think the only one I've got the platinum for is Until Dawn, because the rest of them just aren't worth the grind. Whereas on this, being able to go directly from that choice saves like an hour of listening to conversation before you get to that choice. So that's a huge, huge benefit. And having a collectible mode. Oh, a la Life is Strange. It just makes the entire platinum experience so much better. So I'm really glad for those two little tiny bits, which everyone else would probably walk past, which I've been asking for to be in Supermassive for such a long time. So they're finally putting in what I want them to do, and that should make the platinum experience that much better for me. But yes, as a fan of Supermassive Games' output and Dead by Daylight, this looks well in my wheelhouse, my friend.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now, Phil, you don't play Dead by Daylight as much as me and Davey, and I'm not sure how big a fan of Supermassive's games you are. So what's your take on this, mate? Have you seen the trailer, and what did you think?
I have seen the trailer, and it looks bloody interesting. It looks really, really good. As you guys have pointed out, all the Twitch integration, it adds to that repay ability. And of course, engaging your fans and getting them to partake in what you're playing. Of course, that's going to up the amount of players on Twitch using this game to actually spread some, good times. The quality of life stuff Davey's gone over. That's definitely interesting. I like the way they've done that, because these games, as Davey said, I'm sure can be an absolute nightmare listening to it over and over again. I bet that's so monotonous. It's just like, it goes back to all these platinums that I always complain about, don't I? Where it's like, you have to just do something for the platinum and you're not really enjoying doing it. And I can imagine these games would start to grind on you in that sense. But Spence, you are right. It's not really for me. I haven't really played a lot of Dead by Daylight, and unfortunately Supermassive doesn't really do it for me. So I think this one's a miss. I'll leave this one to you boys, but it does look interesting.
Fair enough. As for me, I think it looks brilliant. I've been hyped on this game since they first showed it. I love the world of DBD. I'm not a massive Supermassive games fan. I love Until Dawn, but I've not played any of the others. And I don't think I will. I don't know. I don't seem that enticed. Maybe one Halloween, I'll tick it off. Who knows? But Casting of Frank Stone, because it's tied in with DBD so closely, 100%, I'm super interested. And that quality of life, like you said, Dave, you're making that platinum so much easier. Oh, baby. Ooh, release it now. I'll play it now. God damn. I'm super keen, super hyped. But moving on, boys. Back round to yourself, Davey. Our next category. Thing is, you're on 2 points, 2 losses. I'm on 1. Phil hasn't lost yet.
No, Phil's on 1 as well.
Oh, he
it's
is?
2-1-1.
Oh, yeah, of
I got
course. He
one.
said Earth twice. Or my safest bet is to try and get Davey to lose then, isn't it?
That would be your safest bet.
That
Yeah,
is
it
my
would.
safest
It
bet.
would.
It's
You
a
should
bit
play in the
peak.
game. You should play in the game. Which, of course, why wouldn't you play the game?
Let's go. Bit of an obscure one, but I know we've all done this at some point in our life. Skateboard brands.
World Industries.
Blind.
Panda.
Oakley.
Toy Machine.
Enough.
Hold on. Hold on. Everything.
Pastime, bro.
Oh
Of course
my
it is.
God.
Of course it is.
There is so many, mate.
I don't know. I can't think
You
of
could
one.
have just said like Route 1.
DC.
DC. Oh, trainers, bro. Etnies, bro. Fuck. I could.
Osiris's.
Yes.
Soap shoes.
Fuck me,
Loads of
Vans.
them.
Oh, fucking hell.
You could even just go No Fear.
No,
That was
like the
they make
cheap
really
one.
shit ones. Tony Hawk makes
Volcom.
really shit ones now.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, of course. Yeah, this is on me.
Independent.
Oh, Independent. I've thought of them for a long time.
I got an independent hoodie. I love it.
I always think about World Industries. What fucking great logos that is. Just those two little blokes, man. Fire guy and the ice guy. Class. Quick news. I mentioned it earlier on. A little Chinese game is doing gangbuster numbers at the moment. Black Myth Wukong has sold 10 million copies in just the last 3 days on PS5 and PC, making it one of the best-selling games pretty much of all goddamn time, which is wild, right? Absolutely wild. First off, I just want to say congratulations. What an absolute achievement that is. Can I also say, and this is going to be one that people aren't going to like, what do you reckon happens when you take the most fucking popular legend from a country that has fucking more people than anywhere else and sell it direct to them? Like, what the fuck do you think was going to happen? Like, come on. Like, is there that many Greeks? If there was more Greeks, God of War would do these numbers. Or if there was more people living in fucking Norway, you'd have more people buying God of War Ragnarok. There's only a fucking few million. There's like a fucking billion people in China. I'm surprised they haven't been fucking told they have to buy this by fucking law. They might be, for all we know. We don't see fuck from the Chinese. This could well be it. But all I want to say is, fucking well done. Well done. Like, great. I'm sure the game's all right. From what I've seen from anyone who's not, like, people
Not Chinese.
not Chinese, and people who aren't using this as a kind of post to hit Concord over the head with, Everyone else just says, yeah, it's all right. It's like a worse version of God of War, which I imagine it is. Am I interested in this game? Yes. Is it on my fantasy critic? Yes, it is, because I'm very interested in it. Will I pick it up? 100% I will before year end. However, I don't think it's going to be one of those games that I look at, like the list of other games we got here that have sold fucking gangbusters, right? You got fucking Elden Ring, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man. I've got a feeling it's not going to be on that level. I've got a feeling I'm going to play it and be like, yeah, do you know what? It was all right. It was a competent action game, which is what I think it's going to be. I think the only reason is because the fucking Chinese legend, the Chinese legend that influenced Dragon Ball, that fucking got Dragon Ball out there. It's that. It's Journey to the West. You sell to the fucking Chinese. The only thing, this is like the smartest play that PlayStation have ever had. This is getting in on this. Because all these different hero projects that we've seen, like the India Hero Project, the China Hero Project, this is exactly what it's designed to do. To appeal to that audience and to really tickle their fancy. And we've seen the kind of games that now this is bearing fruit, right? This is their first game that they've produced, and it's specifically made for that territory. And there's enough people there that want to go out and play it, let alone the other people that are just interested in action games and the game looks fucking baller anyway. This is exactly what PlayStation have been doing, and I think it's the super smart play. We'll now see bear fruit when it comes to like the India project, and we'll see some of those awesome games that were coming out on the back of that are advertised. This is exactly what it's for, and super well done to them. But guys, how do you feel about Black Myth Wukong? Spence, you're very much an action game fan, same as myself. I don't believe it is a Souls-like. From what I've heard, it is just an action game. How are you feeling about this? Is this something you're going to pick up for year end?
See, I've seen tidbits of gameplay. I keep seeing like TikToks of it, and I'll watch for like 5 seconds and just scroll off. Because I'm not that fussed. I'd be a lot more keen to play Stellar Blade or Lies of P before I play this. Much more keen. But this does look good. But there's just something about it not tickling my fancy, and I could not describe what it is. I really couldn't. It looks like the bosses seem like they're trying to go for a Souls-like, but then the gameplay looks like Devil May Cry. It's weird. It's probably more akin to Stellar Blade than it is to Souls.
Do you think part of the reason why it's not appealing to you is because it's Eastern influence? Like, that's something that we just, being our culture, that we're just not familiar with. Like, we all grew up knowing about, like Greek myth and, Greek and Roman myths, really, most of the time. You learn about Trojans and all that stuff. Do you think that's partly the reason for it, is because there is that split of a totally different culture that we do not have any... I've never read Journey to the West. I've never really heard anything about it, other than that I know that Sun Wukong, which is the character, is Goku, right? They're the same kind of person. Apart from that, I know nothing about it. Do you think that's part of the reason why there's that disconnect for you?
I don't think that disconnect is there. I do know quite a bit about Wukong. I know about him lifting the giant pillar and turning it into his weapon, which is his staff. I know about him, how the people in heaven were just pissed off about this monkey that's just down there causing trouble, so they offer him a job in heaven so that they can monitor him. I know a bit about Wukong, but I don't know. It's not a character that I want to play a game about, I suppose, even if I like the character, but it's just not a character I'm too fussed. Like, I think if we saw a brand new action RPG where you play as Goku, I don't think I'd really fancy it. Because that's not the kind of setting you want that character to be in. It's probably something to do with the disconnect, but I couldn't say for sure. I really don't know.
Fair enough. What about yourself, Phil? Are you barking up Black Myth Wukong's tree, or are you staying well away?
At the moment, I'm staying very far away because I just don't have the time to play this one. With Stellar Blade that I'm still yet to complete, and of course Concord is taking over my life, I just don't have time for Black Myth Wukong. But I can see it's done very well, 81%. Obviously, that's given you 11 points over on the Fantasy Critic. But it's a massive achievement because this is the studio's first console game, isn't it? I'm reading in the doc. And being compared to some of these legends, that's crazy for those guys. But obviously, you've broken down how they've achieved that. But they've done a job, and they've done it very, very well, because it is selling like hotcakes. But as I said, unfortunately, I don't have time for this one. It's interesting. I might get around to it sometime in the future, but just not right now.
Fair enough. Super well done again. Maybe the Indians should make something about an Indian fucking legend or something. And that's sell fucking loads as well, loads of them as well. But who's next? Oh, is it my category?
Yeah,
Your category, and then my last quick news, I think. Green,
Red,
Blue.
pink.
purple, pink's not.
Is there
really
a
one.
pink? There's no pink.
You said the next one.
That's right, yeah, true purple.
Yellow.
Orange.
You can in Jedi Survivor. You can get orange.
Well, you can get fucking. That's a video game. It's not really lore, is it?
It's law.
Is it
It's law.
canon?
It's canon.
Fucking fair enough. Black.
No. I mean, no. You
You can get a black kyber crystal.
can, and you can get the blade that the Mandalorian wields, doesn't he? But that's not really a lightsaber. It's close, though, isn't it? It might as well be a lightsaber, isn't it?
I think if we're counting Jedi Survivor colors, I think if black counts.
Yeah. And I think with that, I'm out. I think we're out. That's it. I thought we'd run out after blue. I thought, oh, these guys are going to fucking not know. I thought after like blue, green, and red come up, I thought that they're fucked.
Well, everyone
no,
knows
well done.
purple, bro, because Sam Jackson was like, I want mine purple.
Mace Windu, bro.
Hell yeah.
Goat.
Quick news. Okay, guys, to round it out, I've got some news about PS Stars. And I know you guys love this little initiative that was set up by Sony. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've been quite enjoying it recently, because I got a full £10 off my order of Concord. So it turned out to be very, very cheap, because thanks to PS Stars. But guys, I got some bad news, because they are changing the way PS Stars works. So they're now going to expire within 12 months, unfortunately. So if you buy a game, you get your points. You need to spend said points within those 12 months. And unfortunately, and I think this one's the big kicker, you can't earn PS points from PS Plus purchases. It's a lot of PS Plus within that sentence. But unfortunately, that's not going to rack up your score. So you're not going to get any money back from your subscription. And I tweeted earlier on in the week that as soon as a loyalty scheme doesn't reward loyalty, I kind of lose interest. And I think loyalty schemes have kind of started to change. Obviously, you're seeing Tesco's these days. They don't really boast about the number of points that you get. It's more about the discounts you get. So I think people are adjusting to the way they're trying to work things, but you often see this expires after 12 months. I think Nintendo do the same thing, and it's really freaking annoying because I don't buy many Nintendo games, and as soon as I do buy a new Nintendo game, it's usually 12 months after I bought the last Nintendo game because of the cycle of the games that I really like, and I've lost all the points. So I just kind of lose interest in all these, reward systems. And I think I'm probably going to lose interest in the PS Plus points, unfortunately, because of these new changes.
Can I just say that you need to fucking... If we had that Phil was right song, we need a Davey was right. Because you were shitting on PS Stars forever. I didn't even think you'd even signed up to it. Last we heard, you were like, I'm not going to sign up to it. I ain't fucking... Why do I want 3 points for nothing? Oh, this fucking bullshit scheme. I get 3 points for buying games. I don't fucking want my 3 points. I fucking hate this shit. I don't even use my fucking Morrison's card anymore. Blah, 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 blah. You're going on for fucking donks. And then here he is, saying that he's got a benefit from PS Stars. The hypocrisy on display on this podcast. The hypocrisy. I was first to admit when I was wrong with this. I want to see a walk back. I want to see a walk back here for PS Stars. Thank you.
Well, not after these changes, mate. Expires after 12 months, and I don't get it with my PS Plus subscription. Terrible. Hate this scheme. Although, I did get the spaceship from Concord on my little shelf, which I was very pleased about the other day.
Oh my god, he's proper in. He's proper in Stars.
Cares about the collectibles, the digital collectibles.
You fucking lying bitch. Well, I personally, I don't really... The 24 months thing expiring, I don't really care. Like, my points aren't lasting that long for me to be able to hang on to them. Because if you're concerned about it, you can just trade your points in, get your £5 credit instead of saving up for your 10, and just bank that into into your thing. Like, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think, for that. The not getting it on subscriptions does suck, though, because it was nice to get those extra ones. Ultimately, is it a big deal? No, not really. And I think it all kind of depends on how into the platform you are. I think, like, very much like your Nintendo one about Nintendo points, I completely get that because I'm the same as you. So I'll get the new Zelda when that comes out now, and then that would be it. I won't touch my Switch again for another year, and I'll have lost those points from the last Zelda game that I bought. And that sucks. But I wouldn't really benefit from that system too much anyway because I'm not invested in the platform. You know? Like, it would take me so long to earn enough points to get a reward. It'd probably take me the entire console generation to get like a $5 or whatever. And by that point, do I really care? Am I going to use that $5? Probably not. So I think it's one of those kind of things. It does suck. It's not good for anyone. However, it is just free stuff. And when you're in the PlayStation Nation as much as I am, and I'm buying stuff quite often, I'm not going to notice that 24-month change. The only thing I will notice is the subscription, and that does suck. I'm not going to defend that whatsoever. But I don't know about yourself, Spence. I know you've been an avid fan of PS Stars, same as myself, since day one. Unlike someone on the podcast.
Someone who won't be named. Not you or me, though. Who knows who it is? PS Stars, man. I mean, yeah, of course. Why would I ever hate it? It's just free shit. But this does suck. However, in my mind, if they launched with this, we wouldn't even be batting an eye. If this was the way it was when they released PS Stars. The only reason it seems like it stings is because they accidentally gave us more than they meant to when they launched Stars. Clearly, a lot of people were getting £20 vouchers or gift cards from buying a year of PS Premium. Because I think that's almost a full enough points to just get 20 quid if you get PS Premium. So I think now they've retconned that. 12 months, it's fine. That doesn't bother me. I've got enough to get a 20 quid gift card now. I've not spent any points since I've used PS Stars. So it's fine. I don't think this really affects anyone too much because PS Stars is morely something you forget about until you check to see if you have a reward. It's not something that you're constantly paying attention to. It's just something that's quite nice that is tacked on. So if anyone's complaining, it's a bit.
I don't know. I go in there. I go in there all the time to activate, the app and activate all the different challenges and try and get some cool little bits and bobs. And I do that kind of just when I'm on there, just I'll be in work or whatever, and I'll think, oh, how close am I on that platinum? And I'll go on and just have a look through, and I'll be like, oh, I'll have a look at my PS Stars and have a little look. Can I go above a level 4 yet? No.
You can't.
I'm
No.
like, oh, I want to see if I can go further than that, but no. So I think it is one of those things, right, that I do love it. Like, I do actively love it. And I do move around my collectibles and all that bits and bobs. The thing I want, though, I love all that shit. The thing I'd like, right, with this service in the future would be just to have more integration into the console. I would like to be able to, when you go onto someone's profile and they got like their screenshot they put at the top and all that, I'd like to have that stuff from the app feed through into there because I'm not going on to Phil's page and looking at his collectibles, but it would be cool to see that on the PlayStation 5 dashboard, right? And to go on and be like, oh wow, how did he get that cool Death Stranding one? And then, to kind of look at it that way. I think that's what I would like from the future if they're going to keep building on it. And they obviously are. They're future-proofing this now by making these changes. So I hope that on the back of it, we get some positivity from it and see it leach into the main service. But I don't know about you guys. Is there any improvements you'd like to see made on the back of this if it is staying around for the long run?
Not improvements. I think it's just the thing that really grinds my gears about all this is the pressure to enjoy my reward. If you're going to reward me and keep me loyal. But saying you've got to now enjoy this in the next, hour or the next day, it just feels forced and it's not so enjoyable, is it? The first experience of PS Stars was okay, and it kind of got me into the service and got me actually going onto the app and collecting the trophies and collecting the little collectibles and checking the app. And obviously it did what it was meant to do. But now when it's walking it back, I understand why they've done it, because they probably did mess up and then they gave away too much money and they looked at it at the end of the year and thought, probably shouldn't have done that. We've given away too many stars, haven't we, here? So yeah, to make those adjustments just feels a little bit bitter. And of course, as I was saying, I just don't like the pressure to enjoy my rewards. I should just be having my rewards and I can enjoy it at my leisure because it's my reward. Just like Nectar Points. Nectar Points are still okay. They don't expire.
There you go. Well, there's been a lot that's come out today. A lot of walkbacks, a lot of takebacks, a lot of people being right and people being wrong. And it's just the way it is. And I tell you what, if you want more information, ladies and gentlemen, go onto the blog. Check out the blog.
Check out the
all
blog.
there. And there may even be a testimony from Phil about when his life changed when he discovered how good PS Stars is. Who knows? Maybe that's something to come up on the blog in the future. But with that, let's go through the scores, shall we? It's not gone well for me again on categories. I reckon next two episodes, we come up with something different than categories, because this is starting to really... I'm going to be fucked. I got no chance of winning the 100 crown at this point. So I've ended it with 4. Phil and Spence have ended with 1. So it's another shot in the dark for yours truly.
How's that happened?
Don't know. Well, with that, let's move it on to the topic of the show. Stop! Topic time! And here we are with the topics, and today's topic is an absolute juicer. It is Gamescom Opening Night Live. And guys, I've got a bit of an omission here. While I was away camping, the Gamescom happened on the Tuesday. My internet was horrifically bad, as I've already mentioned. I have not had opportunity to watch Gamescom. I arrived back from camping today, and within an hour of being back, we started the show. So I physically couldn't have had enough time to watch it. So I am going to be very much on the back foot when it comes to this conversation. I'm going to be relying on both of you. I want to first off know, did you watch Gamescom? If you did, your thoughts on it, give me a rating. If you haven't seen it, no bother from what you've seen so far. See if you can formulate an opinion on if you think the hype of what was shown here lives up to expectations. Now, I do, for my own peace of mind, have a list of everything that was announced here at Gamescom, and I have seen many a thing on Twitter while I've been away, but I have not had the full experience of the show. Now, Mr. Philip Hoy, I'm going to come across to you first. Did you watch Gamescom? What are your thoughts?
Well, Davey, I'm glad you asked. Gamescom. So I got home from the gym and was scrolling through and thinking, what should I watch? You know, I've got a couple of hours now. I'm going to have some food, sit down, scroll through YouTube. And I saw Gamescom was on. I didn't know it was happening. And I joined, and I think I joined probably about 20 minutes into it. So I missed the build up to the show. I know that took place, and I think that's where the Street Fighter announcement actually took place. And then I think I missed, as I said, probably the first 20 minutes of the show. But after that, I did stick around for the entirety and saw that out. The show was enjoyable to a certain level. I can't say there was too many things that blew me away within this, or too many new things that actually happened throughout Gamescom that actually spoke to me. There is a couple I've picked out, and obviously we'll go through those within the shag and the marry. And then, of course, there is some twists and turns, which probably will end up as one of the shags, because we've got to talk about that ending to the show. And I'm kind of foreshadowing where I'm going with my kill, because it very much will be that game if no one else picks it, because we need to talk about it. But yeah, overall, Jeff and Shocks from League of Legends did a very good job presenting the show. But as I said, there wasn't very many high highs. It was just okay. So let's give it a nice average figure. Let's give it a 7 out of 10. It was just all right. Nothing crazy.
Fair enough. 7 out of 10. Not bad. So do you think, how does this kind of show, because it is, as far as I've seen, a very similar format to what we get with Summer Game Fest and with like the Game Awards kind of showcases. Was it on that kind of level, or did it feel very much down? Because I know that we can all come out of like Game Awards and they're high quality, the blah 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 blah, but we never generally scored that high for them, because they just go on for a long time, and we feel like there's other issues when it comes to the kind of way that format works. Do you feel it was on that same kind of level, or is it a very different product compared to those?
I feel it was similar, comparable, but we didn't get any, as I said, standout moments. We didn't get any appearances, which we tend to at the other shows. There was no kind of celebrity endorsements that actually spoke to me, or I even recognised some. There may have been some, but I may have not recognised them. And we didn't get any Muppets. So, Yeah, it wasn't on the same level. Definitely not. There was no Kermit the Frog. There was no Gonzo. We didn't get anyone from Sesame Street turning up. So yeah, a little bit of a downer with that one. Actually, I might take off another mark because there was no Sesame Street and there was no Muppets. So I'll go 6 out of 10. Yeah, 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Spence, I saw you popped off the fact there was no Muppets here.
Bro, I haven't seen the event. I've seen snippets of the trailers, but knowing that the Muppets or Sesame Street aren't there, it's 10, bro. I hate when I see that shit. I hate it. You're not talking to anyone. You're talking to a puppet that someone's Oh, it pisses me off, man. You don't watch the Muppets now and think, oh yeah, this is great. So when they come on to real life stuff, why is it great? It's not. It's daft. I hate it.
Daft.
Oh, I love the Muppets.
Fuck
The Muppets are my childhood. Every time they come on the screen, I can't help but laugh, regardless if it's funny. If Fozzie the Bear, he's telling a joke, I'm chuckling away. So I love all that type of stuff that comes up in the shows. So yeah, I was a little let down that Gamescom didn't feature any Muppets.
Well, that is sad to hear, because I'm not saying I enjoyed the Muppets. I tolerate the Muppets, right? I tolerate them. I don't hate them like Spence does. I'm very much in the middle of the line between you guys. You got like the love, the hate, and I'm very much in the middle. Well, I could take or leave it, right? It doesn't irk me.
Which side are you leaning more towards?
All depends who appears, doesn't it? Like when it's Animal kind of pisses me off a bit. But if it was Miss Piggy, I like Miss Piggy. She got a lot of sass. She beats a lot of people up. I could quite happily see her knock someone out. I reckon that would be a laugh. Kermit, a lot of time for him. He's the OG respect. Animal can kind of get fucked a little bit. Sure, he plays the drums like a madman, like an animal. But I don't find him that appealing as a character.
Don't you find it weird that Miss Piggy's thing is beating up Kermit?
Oh yeah, she beats.
That's like her thing.
He loves it.
She beats up Kermit, and I think she also wallops Gonzo. Like that's her thing. She's gonna hurt them at some stage.
She's got sass, bro. She's a pig with sass.
In this world of wokeness, are we still allowing that? Is Miss Piggy allowed to hurt men?
I think she should be what the feminist movement should rally behind.
Miss Piggy, yeah.
She's class, bro.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Miss Piggy. She's great. And she beats up men, but no one really cares. You know, she's got like a bit of a charm to it. And she does love Kermit, really.
She does.
So I'm all for it. You know, somebody steps out of line, you know that Miss Piggy's not going to stand for that shit. She's stamping that out right there and then. And I like that. That's what I like in my feminist women, mate. Strong feminist woman.
So you're okay with, you know, violence between partners as long as they love you, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And she's like doing that, like, you know, pinch punch first of the month thing. Sure, it might be with a frying pan, but these are the Muppets.
They
don't really get hurt. Yeah,
No.
they don't really get hurt. They got like immortality powers, bro. Like none of them are dying. Like they'll get set on fire, they're fine. They go off screen, walk back on. Sure, they're covered in soot or whatever. Next time they're fine. Like there's no real damage at that point. Instead of doing a pinch punch first of the month, you might as well hit them with a frying pan. You know, there's no lasting damage. Whereas with an actual partner, that's domestic battery. You know, you're going away for time. They don't have to worry about that in the Muppet Land, and I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. But going back to it, so Spence, you're saying you haven't seen the actual show here, but have you seen like all the kind of trailers, or just like kind of peak ones like here and there?
I can't remember what video exactly it was or who did it. It was I was over George's house and I didn't even know it was happening. I hadn't been on my phone all day. I forgot Gamescom was happening. And then when I couldn't sleep, I just saw a video. There was like everything announced at Gamescom opening night live. And it was showed like maybe 20 to 30 seconds of a trailer and then showed the release date and the title screen. And then it would go straight to the next thing. So it was only like a 12-minute video or a 15-minute video. So it's definitely didn't see everything Gamescom had to offer, but I've got an idea of what these games entail.
Fair enough. Well, based on what you've seen so far with the announcements, how would you go in terms of the hype level for this?
So Phil said 7, but lowered it to a 6. I'm going to say a 6, but I'll increase it to a 7 now that I know.
And no Muppets.
Now that I know there's no Muppets, I'll say a good 7. Plus, when you're watching it this way, and it's just games back to back, it's quite nice. That's what we always like to see in like a state of play or something. There's no faff, no fluff.
No
Just
nonsense.
On to the games. And that's quite nice. So that's not exactly Gamescom getting a 7. That's this video I've seen getting a 7. Gamescom might be a fucking 4. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, it's more than I've seen, because all I've seen so far is random trailers here or there, which I gotta say, I did pop off, and it took me about half hour to load it, but I did load up the Terry reveal trailer, and I watched that, and it took fucking forever to load. I went for a shower and came back, and it was ready. It was so worth it. Like, I loved that trailer. I thought it was fucking amazing. And I've seen certain things here or there. I got enough that I think I could formulate a shag, marry, kill list to join in with you boys. But I may just need little bits here and there for additional information if potentially I'm missing anything. But I'm happy to dive into the normal format if you guys are.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
As is always the way, listener, I'll break this down for you. We are going to go through this conference with a shag, marry, and a kill. It means that we will do one round of our shag. So these are the games that we want to spend the night with, we want to get cozy with, want to get intimate with, but we don't want to commit. Then you've got our marries, which is the games that we're walking down the aisle for. We're going all the way. We're letting them peg us. Anything they want, we're keeping them happy, right? And then you've got the kill list. Games that we do not want to fucking see again. Games which don't deserve life. So first, Spence, we're going to come to you. Give me a shag.
Sure, mate. So for my shag, let me just scroll up so I remember what it's called. I am going to be going with Reanimal. I don't know if you boys saw this. I mean, I'm sure you did. But it's kind of like a Limbo, Little Nightmares. It's from the creators of Little Nightmares. But it's... I don't know. It's just Limbo. It's just Limbo and Little Nightmares, which if you've ever played those games, they're fantastic. Especially Limbo and Inside as well. Really good. It's just another game akin to those. And they're very short, lovely, horror-esque. They're more creepy than horror. But they're just cool little experiences that every time I play one like Limbo and Inside, I'm always like, that was fantastic. And they're such simple little games with like little puzzles you need to solve here and there. And they're just great throughout. So that 100% Reanimal is going to be my shag.
Very, very nice. And this one actually stood out to me as well. And I saw it and I thought, this is definitely a bit of Spencer. So I'll leave you to this one. Not that I got a choice because you got to go first. But it is a side-scrolling spookathon, apparently. They put it in the document that I'm reading. And yeah, it's got some horrible little nasties, much like Little Nightmares. So yeah, a nice one to keep an eye on. There's no release date for this one just yet. But I think as soon as it comes up, we'll be talking about it in the show, for sure.
Yeah, for me, I've been looking at... Do you know what? This is really bad. I've had Little Nightmares installed on my PlayStation now for probably 18 months, and I haven't played it. And I thought to myself, I can make some content out of this, because these games are supposed to be fantastic. And I've never played them. And this trailer looked fantastic. It looks so good. The art style looks immense. And I know it's up my street, but I feel like I can't play it without playing the Little Nightmares series first, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it would be kind of like starting on Inside when you haven't played Limbo. You know, like you kind of feel you need to kind of play through even if they're not chronologically related, to see how the developers kind of grown and their style kind of shift. And I feel that way about this.
Yeah.
So very, very good choice. Would not have been my list solely for that reason with myself personally. But very, very good choice indeed. What about yourself, Phil? Where are you going with this? Where's your shag?
Okay, my shag, I'm sending it straight to Arrakis because Dune Awakening, the new MMO, looked absolutely fabulous. So we got a new trailer where they broke down the character creator. We saw some sandworms in the deserts. We saw some combat, which was quite interesting. We saw them making water, of course, out of blood, and building some settlements. Now, this game is coming out in early 2025. I believe it is coming to PlayStation, but we've got the PC date as 2025. And it's one to keep an eye on. I really like the series of Dune, and the movies are absolutely stunning. So if the game can live up to the hype that has been created around those movies, I'm definitely in.
Now, Spence, you're a massive Dune fan. Did this game speak for you?
I do very much like Dune. I adore it. I haven't actually read through this yet, but I really should. It's all the behind the scenes and stuff. I adore Dune. I think Dune 2 is my favorite film ever.
Ever.
Wow.
Wow.
And number 2, the issue is I would say number 2 is Dune 1, but I'd quite like to pair them together as number 1 because they do just follow on immediately. But that's what makes me hesitant with Dune Awakening because I adore this so much. And I'm scared. This gameplay came out ages ago. I've seen like an hour of Dune Awakening gameplay, and it looks great. It looks fantastic. But there's just something like gnawing at me, just like, oh, I really shouldn't play this game. And I can't quite say why. I can't figure it out. This wouldn't have made my list because of that reason. But I think once I see reviews and once I'm able to separate it from the films in my mind, I'll be able to give it a shot. But as it stands, I just don't want to see Arrakis in that way. I want it to be Dune Part 3 or 2 or 1. I want the films. I'm scared to see it in a video game format because I feel like it's so perfect for film. Can it be perfect for video games as well? Is it possible? I don't know.
The problem is we've been let down so many times, haven't we? Where, movies have become games, games have become movies. And yeah, of course, our expectations are always sky high, especially when it's an IP that we love. And you love Dune, and I'm very sorry for taking that one, but I am interested in this game. So let's see what happens. I've got my fingers crossed because much like you, I really enjoyed the movies and I really enjoy the universe. And I just want to explore it for myself. And this gives you the opportunity within an MMO kind of setting, which is interesting.
There's 3 letters to put me off this. MMO. That's it. That's enough for me. I do not have time for an MMO. I don't. And as cool as this looks, I don't think I'd be able to juggle it with everything else. And that's it. That's always the problem with MMOs. And if I was going to play an MMO, I'd play World of Warcraft. So, yeah. Like, that's it. And that's the only reason it puts me off. If it was a single-player game or a multiplayer game set in June, there was like a shorter experience, like maybe, say even let's go highball on it, 75 hours, fine. I could be in for that ride. But for it to be a never-ending MMO, kind of puts the fear of God into me a little bit. But it does look fantastic, and I think it's a really, really good choice regardless. So for myself, I'm a bit torn here. I got 2 choices that I want to put in my shag. So the one may go into my marry list. But I don't feel right about it. But I will. I probably will. Right. My shag is going to be Fatal Fury City of the Wolves.
Oh.
Okay.
I did not know this game was in development. It must have just completely slipped past me. The last Fatal Fury game was 1999. Terry fucking Bogard series. He's away from King of Fighters. He's back in his series, Fatal Fury. And this looks fucking awesome. The art style looks great. It looks like classic Fatal Fury. This is going to be fucking fun as hell. No real set date yet for this, I don't believe. Which there is, are you saying, or?
Yeah, April 24th, they're saying.
2025?
2025, yeah.
Fine, great, fantastic, ages away. Fine. If this was coming out this year, that would put the fear of God into me a little bit, because we're just getting Terry in Street Fighter 6 and then Marvel coming on the back of that. But April, I might be hankering for a little bit of a different fighting game. So I'm really interested in this. I got to see more. I'm not overly familiar with Fatal Fury, but I'd like to give it a go. And from what I've seen so far for that trailer, I was really impressed by it, and I love the art style. I think it looks really, really nice. Have you guys seen this trailer? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I saw this trailer. It's relatively short, but stocks are at an all-time high for Fatal Fury, aren't they? Because, of course, we've got Terry Bogard getting announced into Street Fighter, and we've got Mai as well coming in, which is another huge character from the series. Apparently, reading the website that I've got on my second monitor, there's going to be 22 characters in the City of Wolves, plus 5 more that you're going to be able to get on DLC. So there's going to be a season pass. And as I corrected you, 24th of April. So something to look forward to next year, something to keep an eye on. Interested in this one, but again, it's another fighting game. So if you're going to be juggling Street Fighter 6, you're going to be juggling Riot's offering, and then this one, we're just never going to do it, are we? Come on, let's be honest.
That's the problem. So it all depends on what's going on at the time. and also how much Dragon Ball is sucking my life away. So it's going to be one of those kind of things.
Yeah, Dragon Ball as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be one of those things of I don't know how I'll manage it, but it's definitely one that I'm interested in. It definitely would never have been my marry list because of what it is. Because it's a fighting game that's got to compete with Street Fighter and Marvel. So that is never going to get higher than that. But I am very, very intrigued by this. Now, Spence, did you happen to come across this trailer when you were doing your little deep dives?
I hadn't, mate. In fact, I've just watched the trailer now whilst you boys were talking. Fuck me, this game looks sick. It looks really good. The art style, it looks like comic book pages. It looks so freaking cool. And then there's the one, it's showing off all the mechanics in the game. And when it shows off the smart style, and the guy just gets comboed from the right all the way to the left, I'm like, oh. And he does the, what's the twirling up B that Terry has? The
Rising Tackle.
Rising Tackle. The character does that into then aerial like projectiles. I was like, what the fuck?
It looks nuts.
This game looks fucking fantastic. And honestly, if you said it was your marry, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're in a world right now where fighting games are coming out everywhere. We are freaking surrounded by them. So I understand why it's your shag. And had I seen this trailer prior to you saying it was yours, I might say it was mine. This looks fucking phenomenal. Well excited, mate.
But yeah, one to keep an eye on for sure. So from there, let's move it on to our marries then, Spence. What are you bringing to the table for this one?
I've got two, I could say, because there are two games that I know 100% I'm playing on this list. 100%. But I'm going to go with the one that is a cert that I know I'm getting day one. And that's just Black Ops, innit? Call of Duty Black Ops 6. I can't not. I'm so excited for it. The zombies, every single map, the gameplay on multiplayer looks fantastic. There's loads of leaked gameplay now. You can watch. The maps look brilliant. The guns look awesome. It's just Call of Duty back where it belongs. It just looks fucking sick. So I imagine we won't talk about this too much, but I'm guessing you boys are hyped as well.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, we got only a couple of weeks now until the beta.
Fuck yeah.
And that's going to be, I said to Karen already, my missus, I said September 7th to 9th, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm here playing COD. So that's it. You know, you got me all the time. This weekend, you do not have me. Like, I am one with COD, and Cass is at my mother-in-law's, or my ex-mother-in-law's. So I've got the weekend to myself. Everyone's welcome around with monitors if you want to do it locals. More than welcome. What about yourself, Mr. Hoy? Are you going to be joining us on the Black Ops hype train?
It's just another COD, isn't it? I don't know how you guys get excited every year for it. And then you sucker me in, and then I regret it? It's 50-50 at the moment. The last one was great because we had those co-op missions. I really enjoyed it. But when it gets round to that kind of sweaty online kind of lobbies, it's just not for me. I'm too old. I'm 40 this year. I can't be still playing COD. Can I?
Yeah.
Can I?
You can, yeah.
I mean, you got zombies this time. So that's the co-op, man. So we can all dive in, we can just run zombies all the time. I'm more than happy to run zombies. More than happy. Like, if we just did zombies all the time, that's fine. And then, you know, when you go to bed at 10 p.m., because, you know, you're getting tired in your old age, me and Spence can then go into the sweat lobbies. And that's fine by me.
Who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to buy it.
Hell yeah.
I buy it every year. You guys talk me into it, and then I play off and on. It's a waste of my money, but I'm sure I'll buy it.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Hell yeah.
We're all rolling on the COD train. So what about your marry list then? Phil, where are you going with this?
Okay, my marry is Monument Valley 3.
Oh, okay.
Surprise, surprise. I bet you guys thought I was going to pick Mecha Break, weren't you? The Gundam game. I bet you saw that and you thought that's going to be Phil's game. That is a bit of Phil, definitely. But no, Monument Valley 3 is a bit of me because I absolutely loved 1 and 2. Those games were incredible, and I remember playing them on my old Google Nexus back in the day. So for those who don't know, Monument Valley is a mind-bending kind of puzzle game with kind of a unique story, really. But this one in particular, so it's faded away from its previous developers, and it's now come into us by Us2 Games in collaboration with Netflix. Okay. There is a kind of negative twist to this one, though, because it's going to be exclusive to Netflix. Now, I don't really know what that means. Does that mean on my Netflix subscription, am I going to play video games now? I know Amazon are trying to cross that border as well and introduce games into their subscription service. Apple are trying to do that at the moment. But December 10th, Netflix are going to launch Monument Valley 3. Do I have a Netflix subscription? Yeah, we have one in the house. So, hell, let's see if I can play it December 10th.
I know exactly how that's going to work. So they've done it already. It's already on there. If I go on Netflix on my Fire Stick, there's, you just scroll through the categories and stuff. Recently watched, new to you, all them. Eventually you'll get to one that's Netflix's games. And I keep seeing Oxenfree, which is a game that I played on my Switch a few years ago now. It's a really good game. That's on there. And all you have to do is, because it's on a Fire Stick, you can connect to it via Bluetooth. So you just put your controller in share mode, link it to your Fire Stick, and then you can play games for your subscription. And that's just how it's going to work. But there's no trophies. You'll just be playing on your Fire Stick or your whatever you're using to stream Netflix. So it's a bit strange, but I suppose it works.
I'll give it a go. I'm streaming it at the moment via my Apple TV, so we'll see how that one works. But then also, Netflix is on flipping everything. So I'm sure I can find some other device which I can pair a handset to, because I know Apple would be a little bit tricky to pair those Bluetooth handsets. But hey, I'll report December 10th on that one, because I will be playing Monument Valley 3. I've played both original games to fruition and very much enjoyed both of them.
Do you reckon, here's a question, do you reckon that if you were to go on to Netflix on your PS5,
I was about to say this,
that you could then play the game through that way? Do you reckon it would work?
I never use Netflix on my PS5, so I don't know if the games show up as an option. It'd be quick to find out, but I don't know.
Definitely something for us to explore, though.
Yeah.
Because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there at the moment who, like me, will be excited for Monument Valley and other games, because, as I said, Amazon are doing the same sort of stuff at the moment. Apple are doing the same sort of stuff. And all these apps, they're multi-platform. So it'll be interesting to see if we can play any of those on the PlayStation in the future.
I've got something here. It says, nope, Netflix games aren't available on the PS5. They are only accessible through the Netflix mobile app.
Wow.
So you might need to play it on a tablet linked to your controller, which I know you have, to be fair.
I do.
Well, I have never even heard of this game series in my life. So you'll have to. I've never heard of it. It means literally nothing to me. So I mean, cool. I mean, it looks interesting enough, right?
How the tables have turned. I've picked an indie game and you don't know about it. Feels sweet. Does feel sweet. I know why you do it week after week to me.
So yeah, I know literally fuck all about this. When this game comes out, you'll have to report back. And if it's something good enough, hell, like you were saying, Netflix is available everywhere. So I've got Netflix. I could play this. So if you come back and you say it's fucking awesome, we need to play it for Game of the Year discussions, I'll do it. I'll download it. I'll give it a go. And who knows? I don't mind a puzzle game. I'm not going to say I enjoy them, but I don't mind them. So hey, I'm open to anything, man. And if it's getting Jimari, that's got to be big praise. Well, for me, I could keep it safe, right? And just go Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Because I saw that fucking trailer, fucking loved it. Of course I did. However, I'm going to go for one that has slowly grown on me, much like the PS Portal has. Monster Hunter Wilds is looking fucking awesome. I saw a trailer the other day. It's not the one that was shown at Gamescom, actually. There was a trailer the other day, and Spence, you're looking like that now. This trailer, dude, he had a rope, right? And he had double blades, and he, spun up into the air and spun down and chopped all over it like a fucking Attack on Titan, bro. Like, all over it, like this. All over this monster, and it just collapsed, and I thought, I could be fucking Captain Levi, bro. I can make Captain Levi in Monster Hunter. Like, what next? And we didn't play much that last Monster Hunter game, but what we played was fun. Convoluted,
We
but
didn't
fun.
have a fucking clue what we were doing, mate. We
No,
walked
none.
around looking for this monster, not knowing how to kill it until time ran out.
Yep.
And that's
Fun,
all we
though.
did.
It's
was
fun, though.
fun. It was fun.
There's no date set for this, for Monster Hunter Wilds yet. All we know is it's next year. The more I see about it, the more impressed I am. And this is a huge series, and it seems like as if it's one of those games that, am I doing a disservice to myself by not going down this rabbit hole? And yes, it is a long rabbit hole to go into. I understand that. A really long rabbit hole. But now I got the PS Portal, it could be a game that if I got into and got over like the initial growing pains, I could then just play for fucking whenever. And it kind of gives me that kind of vibe. And the more I'm seeing, the more impressed I'm being by it. I mean, there's a long way to go. And depending on its launch date, and what's releasing around it will very much dictate its fate, right? But if it comes out and there's a clear time and there's nothing around, I'd very much probably pick this up. I think I would. And just dive and just start exploring that rabbit hole. And fuck knows, if I love it, that's me. That's me done. I just hunt monsters now. So I think this is cool, bro. I'm all for this, but I can sense that you're disappointed in me, Spence, for going for this over some of the easy picks that I could have done here, like Space Marine 2 or Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, all the games that I'm definitely going to buy. I can sense your disappointment through the monitor here.
I'm not disappointed that you chose it over other stuff. I'm disappointed that you chose it at all. You've literally just said, I don't have the time for an MMO. So I'm not going to play Dune Awakening. But Monster Hunter Wilds, this endless game, yeah, that looks sick.
It's not an MMO though, is it?
No, but it's
I could
the
just
same
pick it
vein.
up, go hunt a monster, turn it off, have fun. It would scratch that Pacific Drive kind of itch, bro. Like I could be like, all I need to do is hunt 50 more of these monsters and I can craft that new set of armor. And it's like, oh, all right, what am I going to do this time? Pull out my dual katanas, start fucking Captain Levi-ing it up around monsters. Yeah. I reckon that'd be fucking fun, bro. That's super fun. But it's a game that would be better with you guys. I'm sensing that, Spence, you're not going to join me on this endeavor.
If you're buying it, I'll have it. So maybe, but I wouldn't be overly happy. I don't think. I mean, if you're playing it, I'll enjoy playing it with you guys. But I would never, ever boot it on my own unless we somehow got good at it and I got invested, which I can't imagine happening.
Flash forward a year from now. Fucking Monster Hunter sick, bro. We love Monster Hunter. We're Monster Hunter podcast.
3 months later.
Yeah. What about yourself, Phil? Obviously, you're a massive Capcom fan, same as all of us are on this podcast. Capcom apologists, we are. Are you going to go on for Capcom's probably premiere franchise in Monster Hunter?
Well, you've kind of taken the words right out of my mouth there, Davey, because I was literally going to say that we love Capcom here on the podcast. And actually, Monster Hunter is one of the series which actually I've never played. The time you guys played Monster Hunter must have been way past my bedtime, so I wasn't invited to the Monster Hunter crew. I didn't get to play that game. And it's always been a series that I've always thought, looks interesting. I would like to give it a go, but I could see myself getting very, very invested into this type of game. But just to bring you down a peg or two, Davey, like there has been a lot of negativity around Monster Hunter World, and it's seeming to be limited to 30 FPS on the consoles. Okay, that seems to be the big talking point everyone's going on about after the videos that people have seen. So I'm not sure that probably affects you as much as maybe it affects Spencer, because in the past you've always said FPS has never been something that sort of determines whether you'll buy a game or not. You're just there for the gameplay. But I know it would be something that would really grind on Spencer. And if Spencer already has this slightly negative view on Monster Hunter, it being limited to 30 FPS, he's never going to get on with this game, Davey. He really isn't. So it might just be me and you.
I'm more than happy to give it a go, my friend. I tell you what, we'll see when the release date is. If the release date comes out and it's clear, you never know, my friend. It might be a late wedding gift. You never know.
Mega late.
Sure, Laura will love that. So let's move it on then to our kills. Which games are getting the chop? Which ones are not supposed to be in this waking world of ours? Spence, what are you putting up here for destruction?
For my kill, I'm going to go with a game that I've actually got the platinum on.
Oh, okay.
Goat Simulator Remastered. Why? For what purpose have they remastered this game? There's no reason. For one, the game isn't even aged poorly, and you can play it on PS5. There's no reason to remaster this game. It's on literally all platforms. Anyway, the original version, and it plays fine. It looks fine. People were kicking off about Last of Us getting a remake for a game that released in 2013, then 2015. This released, sure, around the same time. It looks completely fine. Why remaster it only a year after releasing Goat Simulator 3, which, by the way, there's no Goat Simulator 2. They just skipped it. And now they're doing Goat Simulator 1 remastered. I'm just confused. I don't know what is going on over in that studio, but just make something else. Why are you remastering? Unless they've seen all the success with Capcom's remakes and Last of Us and thought, oh, we'll do that. Goat Simulator remastered. It just bothers me. I'm like, why? Why make this?
I don't think I've got an answer for you there, Spence. I really don't. I haven't played any of these games. I'm surprised that you've actually spent time in said game and got platinum. It must be a very easy platinum for you to have done that.
3 hours.
That's why you've played it.
3 hours.
So,
Yeah,
hey,
and it's on PS Plus.
Oh,
a
wow.
remaster, another 3 hours, another trophy.
I'm not doing it again.
He says that now, Davey.
He does, yeah.
He already
does.
knows he's going to be playing it again.
If it's free PS Plus, maybe. Who knows? But I'll still, even if I do that, I'll still be confused as to why it exists. It's not something that needs to be in this world.
Yeah, it is wild that A, exists, and B, that it's at Gamescom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Gamescom has always been, as I said at the start, kind of more of a backup kind of, event, right? There isn't generally your massive announcements at Gamescom. But to put something in there like Goat Simulator, that does bring things down a peg or two, doesn't it? It's not a great thing to have in your lineup.
It also, it's the announcement trailer. The area in there is not in the game. So I don't know what this remaster actually is. I really don't know. I feel like it's just a sequel that they're calling remastered, which makes even less sense. So I'm just baffled, mate.
I reckon it's going to be fucking good, man.
Oh, God.
I do. Like, I've never played them, but every time I've seen gameplay footage, it looks fucking hilarious. And I know that Cass has said a few times about downloading it and playing it. I didn't realize the trophy was that good. Like, it was a 3 hour fucking platinum. So I might say to him, yeah, let's get on download, Cass. Let's do it. And you can co-op Goats, right? You can co-op that game, can't you?
I think you can now, yeah.
Yeah. We just co-op Goat it up, bro. I reckon it'd be fun. So I reckon this is cool. The game looks like arse, the original game. So yeah, give it a nice lease of life. Got mega long licky tongue. Just lick some people up and start spamming them around the map.
Have you watched the trailer for the remaster?
Not yet. I'm gonna have a look now. How could you kill that, mate? That looked charming as hell.
Mate, it shows a little bit of gameplay. It shows 5 seconds of gameplay at the end, and it looks no better than the original version.
Mate, I liked it. I wish it was called a remastered. I know the goats don't even go bare, but still, it works, right? It works. Oh man, I don't know how you kill that. I reckon that looks good.
It's because I've already played it, that's why.
Yeah, fair enough.
And it doesn't need a remake.
Fair enough. All right, I'll give you that. What about yourself then, Mr. Hoy? What are you killing? What are you wiping off the face of the earth?
Well, I kind of foreshadowed this one earlier because I wanted to talk about it, and I've already got a thumbnail queued up for this episode of the podcast. So I'm going to kill Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, this was one of the games that was towards the end of the show. I think it was last but one. And this is the Indiana Jones game developed by Bethesda. And the big sticking point was this, and we did a bit of a dive into, who was behind the voice work and kind of a little bit about the game, but ultimately the big reveal was the release date, and that was the 9th of September for Xbox and PC. And you're saying to me, Phil, this is a PlayStation podcast over here. Why are we talking about an Xbox game? Again, Lewis isn't even on the show. Why are we talking about this? Well, I've got some news, because they waited. They dramatically paused, and then they said PS5 for 2025, and the whole crowd went wild, and Twitter went wild, and I went straight onto Messenger and messaged Lewis, because of course I wanted to see his face when that happened. Oh my God, it's happening. Indiana Jones is coming to PS5 in 2025. What do you think of that news, guys?
I think it's awesome for me and fucking boneheaded as hell for them. Like, the fucking stupidest decision ever for Xbox, releasing it now. For me, I've been super hot on this game since it was first shown. I've been really tempted, and I've said loads of times on the show, this is the reason, this and Doom were the reasons why I would have bought an Xbox. And they decided to bring both to the console I own. The one, Doom day and date, and Indiana Jones, like 3 months later. The game launched in fucking December. We get it by spring. Spring's like April, May. Like, I'm fucking wait 5 months, bro. I'm like, I ain't buying a fucking Xbox now. Like, this is the best news ever for me, because I'm super fucking hyped on this game. But I cannot understand who at Xbox thought this was a fucking good idea. Who? Like, no one's going to rush out now at Christmas and buy an Xbox, because they could just think, oh, well, we'll see how it goes on Metacritic, and yeah, we'll pick it up later down the road on PlayStation. Rather than being like, I'm going to buy it day one on my Xbox, on my brand new sparkly Xbox that I got on a fucking Black Friday sale for $199, because now I can play Indiana Jones. They've totally thrown that revenue out the window for this. And I just don't understand a world where this works for anyone. It makes no fucking sense. It's like as if Xbox all the time just load the shotgun up with fucking rounds that really hurt PlayStation, and they just point it themselves and blow their own fucking head off. They do it all the time. They cannot seem to understand how you hit a fucking bullseye. I don't get it. I don't get it at all, Phil. Just don't get it.
I think it's so wild, and it's quite telling when you look at our Fantasy Critic, because we, of course, did the Fantasy Critic with Lewis, and his first game that he was sort of looking forward to was this, and he is a hardened Xbox fanboy. He loves Xbox. He's the biggest Xbox fan I know, and then some. And this was the main game that he was talking up. This is number one out of 10 different games that we picked out, maybe even more. This was number one on his list that he was looking forward to, and he put it top of his list, expecting huge Metacritic scores. Now, if it's going to get those huge Metacritic scores, why is it coming to PlayStation? It just seems wild. And, Phil Spencer, multiple times, he's come out and he's like, it's not coming to PlayStation. This is going to be an exclusive for Xbox. This is going to be our game. And they've just walked that straight back. The first opportunity. It's wild. It's comedic. It's hilarious. And I feel really sorry for Xbox. I really do. Genuinely. I like to wind Lewis up. It's fun, right? Part of the show that I love is just referencing Lewis and winding him up. He knows it. We get a bit of banter from his show. He gets a bit of banter for us. But this is just wild. And I just feel so sorry that choice has been made, because so many Xbox fans are disappointed with this news that it's coming to PlayStation, and it's not going to be, the heralded exclusive that everyone's going to buy Xbox and save Xbox. It's just going to be another game coming to PlayStation.
This is exactly it. It literally beggars belief. You just cannot fucking make it up. Anytime they come out with a game that this year, remember, we're now what? Late August? This year was supposed to be their year. I remember when we were finishing last year off, and we had Lewis on, And he was like, 2024. And I was saying to him, lol, we always go through this. It's always the next year's the best year. The next year's this. We've got Avowed being delayed into next year, which is fine. You know, I'm sure they wouldn't mind having some space. We had fucking Hellblade 2 didn't move the needle like they thought it would and didn't review all that well. Indie looks like this is it, bro. Like, if they had done, I just don't understand who at the, like, I just don't get it. They're like, yeah, we got Indiana Jones, done by Machine Games, who fucking slap tits every single game they do. We got them on it. We got a fucking amazing franchise in indie. Uncharted hasn't been out for fucking ages, so everyone's going to be really hyped for this kind of style of pulp action game. This is going to fucking move the needle loads. They're like, yeah. And we got Doom, right? Doom's out in the following year. Yeah. And that looks great. Yeah. Let's bring it to PS5. No, you fucking twat. No, don't do that. Like, these are the ones you keep. Like, you fucking keep this shit to make it so that people actually buy into your ecosystem. And instead they're just like, nah, we just want that revenue. And you can tell it's obviously Daddy Microsoft now just being like, look, we've given you all this fucking rope. You're doing nothing with it. You're just fucking hanging yourself every single time. So now we need to recoup our investment. But what they don't realize is by doing that, they're actually damaging their own fucking brand. They just don't get it. They just don't see that, sure, you'll get that short-term revenue gain. But why would somebody decide to pivot away from their main console choice where they're spending all their recurring income from buying games and paying subscription services and all that stuff? Why would you ever pivot from that when there's nothing on the other side to grab you and hold you over there? Because it all comes over here now. The only thing that hasn't is Starfield. And outside of a few, I know us at Podcast, we don't give a fuck about Starfield. And so it's like, these are the games that would fucking win us over, that would then be running dual fucking systems. But that ship's long sailed. It's fucking long gone now. It's wild. Spence, how are you feeling about this?
Mate, I think I saw this coming miles away. For one, when it happened, I've seen there was a video put out of like loads of Xbox, their reactions to the news, and all of them are seeing the release date. Yeah, coming to PS5. Just head in hands, devastated. And for one, I'm thinking, sure, it sucks that it's multi-plat, and I know it is damaging their brand. If we had a fantastic exclusive go to Xbox, sure, we've got loads. I wouldn't really care. I'd be like, oh, that's lovely that they get to play it as well. Whereas the Xbox fans have a different mindset, whereas they're like, this is our game. Our game.
I don't believe you there, Spence.
I don't believe you either.
No.
I wouldn't mind.
The Last of Us coming to Xbox. God of War coming to Xbox.
They're on PC already. What's the issue?
No. You got to carve. There's got to be a reason for people to buy your console. And the difference is, right, if this wasn't announced for spring and they just didn't fucking mention it at all, and then you get to spring and then they launch it on you, like a week later is coming, even that is too soon, but it's still, I would have bought an Xbox, right? I would have got one. Knowing it's out, that it's coming, before the game's even fucking out, is so ridiculous.
I know what you mean.
It would be like them saying, right, God of War Ragnarok, here it is on PS5. By the way, comes to PC September 6th the following year. They don't do that for a reason, because you never know when it's going to come. So if you want to play it, you don't know if it's ever going to arrive or not. You just don't know. So you might as well get into the system and go from there. People have been waiting fucking forever. For like Bloodborne, for example, still not out on PC, right? Still. Probably won't. But it's that unknown is the reason why you get into the console.
But I think the difference is with this, Xbox is in the rare case where they already know they've completely fucked it. They're making zero money and they've lost the console war. They know full well. What if this isn't, and if this does come to PS5, what revenue are they gaining with it being Xbox? Sure, people are buying an Xbox. Are that many people going to buy an Xbox? Because I think it's stupid that even you would, because you could just play it on your PC.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
Yeah, but that's just a preference. That's because your distaste for PC. You could plug a controller in and it would be native through Game Pass. You could get this
Yeah.
for a $5 and you could play it.
I
That's
could.
just your decision. I think this just benefits Xbox it come the PS5 because they'll actually make something. I think if it was exclusive, they would be making way less. And they know they've lost the war. There's no point them trying to save the brand because it's dead. The only people keeping it alive are the people loyal to Xbox for the past 10 years and just refuse to change.
I just don't know who this announcement services. I really don't. Was there that many Sony, PlayStation guys really wanting this game and like cheering that? The only reason we're cheering it is because of the console war. I think.
Agreed.
I just don't understand why they included it. They're only including it to make themselves look stupid. That's literally what they've done. If they just didn't include it, as Davey was saying, and kind of like, dangled the fish a little bit and like had the rumors that it possibly could come to PS5, all right, we'll leave those in the background and you'll get that initial wave of people who are interested in that IP possibly buying the Xbox. But including that date, as Davey said, it just stops all those sales. Because why would I ever buy an Xbox now? It makes literally no sense and it services no one.
It does. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Unless Jeff knew, and then he said to Microsoft, "Oh, to have it here, we'll pay X amount or whatever," and there was some kind of back end deal done there. But normally, these publishers pay to be at the show so they can get that announcement. So it means that they paid to then ruin their own chance of getting their own hardware pushed. And I know people will say, "Oh, well, you can't think of it as hardware anymore." This is their argument now. Can't think of it as hardware anymore. It's now the service. And it's like, well, the service ain't fucking moving, lad. The service ain't fucking increasing in subs. Like, COD is the last ditch effort they got now this year. Because COD has the chance to move subs. But if that doesn't, nothing will. Nothing will. And as you rightly said, Spence, this gives them a chance to actually bring back their development cost, right? So at least they'll break even and gain money on the game, which they wouldn't have done anyway through the Xbox ecosystem, I wouldn't have thought. But I am sticking with what I've been saying and what Phil's saying here, that it just further diminishes. It's like the Xbox brand has just been eroded over and over and over again. And at this point, they might as well just go the same way as Sega.
I think they will.
Yeah, I think they will too.
I think they will. I think
Yeah.
I agree with you boys that this was terrible for Xbox, but what's the point in saving it at this point? Xbox has been dying for since the fucking Series X came out. They've not made one good decision.
Yeah.
There's no saving it now. Literally none.
You might unfortunately be right. And as we say all the same time, it's just fucking sad. It's just sad to see people come in and just ruin a chance of a chance. A fucking chance. All we want is a strong Xbox, man. And it's just like as if, like I said, they just keep fucking turning the gun on themselves. Every opportunity they have. First, the biggest mistake they made, I swear to God, is having day and date in Game Pass for a fucking massive mistake.
Yeah,
huge mistake. And then from there, it was bringing it to PC as well. It's like, oh, you're just cutting away at your own shit all the time. Like, think how many sales they would have had to Sea of Thieves, bro, if they just put that on PC had to buy it. Like,
yeah,
dumb. Should have put us in charge of Xbox, man. Even as PlayStation guys, we would have fucking steered the ship in the right way, wouldn't we?
yeah, because we'd have just copied what PlayStation do.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Work the treat. We'd
Fucking
immediately
works.
go, all right, Game Pass, gone.
Yeah,
Just get rid of it.
yeah.
And now,
Binned.
Indiana Jones, it's just Xbox, 70 quid. Bang. You're welcome.
Done. Yeah,
Walk away.
thank
You can walk away then.
Yeah, and then don't put a PC date out there or day and date with PC as well. But they gotta buy it, and then you keep the Game Pass model like it is for the middle tier now, and just like PS Extras. Thank you very much. Occasional ones that go in there, done. But now it's like the same way that PS Stars, where they've walked it back now and decreased the service. As soon as that can's open, you can't fucking close that door again. Like as soon as that door's open with free games, you can now gatekeep it a little bit, but you can't ever closing that door is going to cause fucking riots, bro.
Yeah.
If they ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's something. As soon as the genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in, and it's just a fucking nightmare for him.
The Xbox
really is.
players like, oh, I have to support developers now. What the fuck?
Madness. Great choice for your kill. I can't agree with it being on a kill, but I think it is a kill move for Xbox. And so I like what you did there. For my kill, guys, is a game that I've brought up on this kill list before, and it is going to be on here every single time until it fucking comes out and hopefully dies a short death. And that is Infinity Nikki.
I knew you'd say that.
I fucking hate this game. I hate it. I hate everything it stands for. It's a fucking chibi little fucking bullshit nonce game about dressing up. Fucking RPG about dressing up a woman. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous that games like this exist and that people buy them. And people do buy them. Like, if somebody had this on their PlayStation and they're not under the age of 13 or a girl, I'd say you need to be put on a list. There's
100% that's their audience, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's not the girls playing this game. It is the
list.
Weebs.
Yeah, it's the
Absolute
list.
Weebs, yeah.
It's the list of people that you find at a Smash Brothers tournament. They're all playing this game.
Yeah, you're right. And this to me is fucking ringing alarm bells. Whoever plays this, whoever streams this, just stay away from them, lads. Stay away from them. They'll be coming up soon. Give them 18 months and they'll be the next one to get on the Twitter chopping block. Telling you now, this game is a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare. And it doesn't deserve to live. And so that is why Infinity Nikki gets my kill. But anyone got any thoughts on Infinity Nikki before we bring the show to a close?
I don't have any thoughts on the game. Honestly, this isn't one I've been looking at. I'm not going to lie to you. Just not at all. But the way you...
Sure, Spence.
Yeah, of course.
That's
definitely not been playing this one.
Hide from trophy list, mate. That's gone. The way you talked into your intro for this, it sounded like you were going to say Skull and Bones again. You were like every time, and I was like, it's not even at Gamescom. What's he going to say? But mate, I didn't watch the trailer for this. I'm not going to watch the trailer for this. But you can sign up for the closed beta now.
If any of us is going to do it, it'll be you. I think.
Would be Spence, yeah.
Definitely is. It's more of a Spencer game.
What's the platinum like, you know?
It's an RPG, bro. You have to imagine how many dresses you'd have to collect and dress her up in.
And hairstyles and shoes and makeup and little fucking stupid cats that follow you around. Like, there's going to be loads, mate. And they're all going to be paid for. It's all going to be expensive. It's all going to come out of daddy's wallet.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Yeah, not for me, Davey. Let's move on.
Yeah. Let's bring the show to a close, shall we? Well, that is our list. Ladies and gentlemen, I would love to hear yours. If you want to reach out to us, there's a number of ways to do it. Easiest and best way is to reach out to us on Twitter or X these days. Our podcast one is at In PS We Trust. However, we do have our individual ones, which are all listed in the show notes below. Speaking of show notes, if you want a little bit more extra content you want to read, so say, for example, you're on the loo and you want to have something to do, go onto the blog. It will be linked in there, as Phil has mentioned a few times before. Phil's doing a lot of work on the blog. I would appreciate more eyes on that. And one day, I may very well post it myself. We also, if you do want to chat to us on a more intricate level, on a more personal level, you can join our Discord. So we do have a Discord. It is fully up and running. Phil has been working diligently on running that, and he is in there all the time. So if you want to speak to the podcast favorite, Phil Hoy, he is there. Me and Spence do pop in every now and again like a celebrity. You know, like we'll get the helicopter in, we'll wave the flag, we'll say hi, maybe put a couple of reacts, and then we dip again for months.
Gone.
Yeah. But if you want to have the chance of running into the living legends such as myself and Spence, then join the Discord. It may happen. May not, but who knows? That's part of the fun of it, right? See how many days it is. See how many days it is since I logged into Discord. We'll find out. And that brings our little show to a close. Oh, and I should say, if you really want to support the show, if you've really enjoyed what you've listened to so far and what we do, a couple of ways that you can support us that do mean the world to us. The first is, if you're listening on audio, put a rating on for the podcast. We're staying strong on a 5-star on across all platforms. Thank you all ever so much. they are slowing down, these reviews. I know most of you listen on Spotify. So do me a fucking favor, alright? Put a 5-star review on. And if you're not, then fuck off over to YouTube and put a like and a sub on. Either one works for us, and I'm more than happy for either. So thank you all ever so much. But that brings episode 97 of In PS We Trust, a PlayStation podcast, to a resounding close. I have been Davey.
I've been Phil.
And I've been Spencer.
Take care, guys.
Peace.
In PS We Trust is hosted by Davey, Phil, and Spencer. You can write into the show via our email, pswetrust@gmail.com. Our Twitter is @InPSWeTrust. To find each of us online, follow our Twitters, @SSJDavey, @PhilipHoy, @SpenPie_. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. See ya.